my gamers. Alright, so tonight we're back on the usual QK casting, but I'll probably have to take it a bit easier since I still can't fully use the 100% extent of my vocal cords. So I suppose I could take it as a little bit of a practice drill for controlling my voice, which is for sure something I'm not the best at, being often unable to control my enthusiasm in the midst of things. You know how it is. The price of failure, of course, will be pain tonight, so let's see how we'll fare through all of this. Anyway, this here is Bounty Hunters that you're watching right now, and we're a weekly show match event open for everyone to participate. The name of the game is Guilty Gear Strive, and the format is first to 7 wins. I'm your usual host QK, and yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's jump into it and see what's in store for tonight, or rather the lore of the situation. Now, tonight we've got lots of people taking a, side venture into an alternative character. And I think most of them are due to that same bet, the same incident that happened last week on Bounty Hunters. The match I of course speak of was was Paita Abba versus Ina Bridget. And even though the match is, generally considered very Bridget favorite, Bridget Abba, the perceived skill difference that time between Paita and Ina prompted a widespread bet that if Ina would get, I believe it was 4 wins initially, if that was to pass, then the bettors would have to play a different character for a week. I think it was a week. Well, as it happens, it was not 4 wins, because Ina actually ended up winning the set by the skin of his teeth. And now in the aftermath, all of these players are joining Bounty Hunters to perform their dues. Let's see, let's start with Jay, who usually plays Bridget, I believe, in the matchup slot number 2, is now forced to play Nago for a week. And the funny thing here is that Ina, who was sort of the focal point of the bet and the match that happened last week, is now coming back in order to play a sub character as well. And that character happens to be the one that he actually beat last week. We've had this character matchup before a couple of times, and it's a really fun one. Basically asking 2 explosive characters to manage their unique resources, probably in order to grasp the win. Abba and Nagoriyuki are, of course, those characters I am talking about. So looking forward to that one very much. More outmatches in matchup slot number 5, where Mox, who usually plays Baiken, is gonna roll up with Faust. Now, her opponent will be Pablo, who usually plays Anji, if memory serves correctly. I think that's the case. Is now going in with Testament. Now, this matchup prompts, this matchup prompted by both of these players, of course, losing the bet due to, Ina's strong performance as well. Now, Faust and Testament, these two are very different kinds of archetypes of characters compared to what these players usually rock. Both players moving from a sort of transitioning from a character that needs to work their way in first, because they're a little limited in terms of, the length of their pokes, Baiken and Anji. They're switching to a characters that have a lot of things that they can and also want to do at long range. These characters will be testing the limits of Mox's and Pablo's neutraling ability. Then, let's see, as far as other character switchers this week go, let me check. Yeah. So we got RageWolf on Leo on slot number 4. Usually a Bridget player. And actually, now come to think of it, Leif also in the matchup slot number 1 is technically a Bridget main as well. So that's what, Leif, Ina, and RageWolf 3 Bridget players playing a different character tonight. Very interesting. Funny that as Bridget is, like, as far as Bridget is concerned, I would say since the advent of Wild Assault in the season 3 switch, the meta has sort of been switching away from Bridget. I think people used to think Bridget as a really strong character before that, and I guess like a pretty decent contender slightly after season 3 switch. But then slowly there's been like a switch over time where the deck just started stacking against her little by little, and now in season 4 we're in a place where characters just have way more health than usual, so that means Bridget has to work really hard because she's really not a damage character. Characters also do more damage than before, which again hurts Bridget quite a lot because she bleeds. And the clumsier archetypes of characters are stronger than ever. I mean, Gold Lewis has always been extremely strong, but now we have contenders such as Potemkin for S tier positions, as rumor has it. So I would probably not feel the most confident about Bridget in this kind of economy. Now, to return back to our roster, our quotations big boy matchup tonight is happening in the slot number 3, where GuessingGame and Pokey are going to clash in another match of heavy hitting and heavy gambling powerhouses as well. Gonna be super interesting, that one. We've also got in the, let's see, final slot of the evening, Ruby Elfeld returning back after a, how should I put it, valiant effort first showing against overwhelming odds previously. Now, hopefully in a match that Ruby could realistically take. Opponent will be Diego Nago, one of our 2 Nagos tonight. And then, of course, we've got Metadona Johnny and 11th Bridget in the 6th slot. Oh, hello, bless. We've actually got 1 Bridget player tonight playing their character. We've sort of established recently that I think Johnny just is really good at cutting through the things that Bridget usually would like to do when we've watched this matchup on Bounty Hunters. You know, Bridget would like to establish like some sort of control and zoning, but Johnny's just really good at those things too, and has a lot of tools that can, you know, reach places where other characters just might not be able to. You've got, of course, Johnny's signature Mistfinder, but then there are buttons like 6K as well that are really good at accessing aerial spaces that Bridget would usually like to inhabit or occupy. We'll see if 11th will be able to push through these overwhelming odds tonight. I think the last like 2 Bridget versus Johnnies have been like super Johnny favorite. So we'd like to see success from Bridget POV as well. But now, I think enough talk. Let's circle back to the matchup number 1 tonight. Let me bring up the cards as well and prompt the players to join at their leisure. So the match is going to be between Leif Sin from France and Lamprella Ramlethal representing Scotland. A matchup where I would say stonks are really up for Sin after the season 4 switch. We've been debating, or like there's been a lot of debate mostly in the side of Sin players. I think most players think that Sin has been like majorly buffed, and I think, you know, that is definitely the case, but there has been some talks about, you know, whether this is the strongest iteration of the Sin so far. And I think the contenders are season 3 when DP was cancelable into supers. That was a very strong version of Sin, of course, but now we have arrived to this version where spending stamina allows you to convert everything and anything into really, really big numbers. And I think even though this Sin has its drawbacks, I think it's probably the best, strongest version of Sin that we've seen so far. On the other hand, Ram Lethal. The initial Season 4 patch put Ram in a really dominant position initially, but the recent emergency fix toned her down quite a bit from her previous position of power. To an extent where some older Ram players have considered dropping her, we have players still like Lamprella who, you know, will keep being a fan and tackling more competitive challenges with the character, even despite the fixes, the nerfs, or whatever you want to call them. And honestly, it's really fun, in my opinion, to observe how not just Ram players, I want to sort of generalize this to situations like you have a lot of conundrums where a lot of occasions where your character gets nerfed visibly, and then it's your turn, like it's your responsibility to adapt to that and figure out, all right, I might not be able to do the things that I did in the past. What can I do? Can we make this work in a different way than usual? In a way, Sin players had the same. You can't really play Sin the same as you played Season 3. It's a feast and famine kind of play for Sin, or kind of game for Sin. When you have 2 or 3 stamina, you're thriving. When you have less, you have very, very limited amount of options, unless you have meter as well to fix some of those conversions that you would usually be getting with stamina. The matchup itself, I think is a cool matchup. Both of these characters kind of try to get their win conditions rolling from same kind of conditions. You're attempting to find a poke from neutral. Both are, of course, very, very good at neutraling. Long-range pokes. Ram maybe has a slight edge, having the, you know, the massive range of far slash, 5 heavy, rock, other kind of stuff. But Sin is no slouch either in that regard. You have things that can skip neutral. Elk Hunt, for instance, really strong tool, goes under far slash at least. Maybe not 5 heavy from Ram. That's definitely an advantage that Ram has. But you can attempt to skip the neutral, and once you get in on Ram is like, other than Mortobato, she doesn't have like a lot of super good defensive tools, and she bleeds a lot. So getting in with the new upgraded damage Sin, it can put, you know, you can wrap up rounds really fast. So really important step at the start of the game, try to get your snowball going before the opponent does. Sin generally just wants to get in and have fun at close range, spend stamina, use plus frame moves, close slashes, Elk Hunt 2s, stuff like that. Ram usually wants you in the corner. When you're in the corner, then you start burning your resources, your swords, your Wild Assault. Ram, of course, has a red Wild Assault as well as your meter.
Mankind knew that they cannot.
This is actually very exciting as well, because Ram has been changed so much over the course of Guilty Gear Strive. For example, take the flip kick move. What is it? 214K, which has been minus on block, has been plus on block, has been in its current iteration completely punishable on block. It's like a lot of her tools have just been switched around how they function. Ooh, we're burning resources from the get-go, and still with 3 stamina. So this is a cool kind of thing about the resource management with Sin. As long as you maintain the 3 stamina, you have basically all of your firepower intact. So sometimes, even though previous iterations of Sin might have been like ready to spend stamina on a moment's notice first before going to the other resources, this version of Sin maybe would like to spend other resources before stamina, at least to maintain that 2 stamina. Ooh, was able to get the anti-air there still, and into big far slash. Unfortunately, there was a far slash. Life was probably looking for a close slash there instead. The sword explosion gets the turn, but the pushback causing there to be a little gap there, which Life was then able to exploit with a DP into the next one. I think was queuing up a Beak Driver. Lamprella having a great read there. Beak Driver reaches really far, but is basically a fireball function, so basic fighting game rules apply. You jump, you get over the fireball, and hopefully you get the punish as well. Ooh, leaping through, but on the way down, lamprella luckily being able to block the hit. The swords are coming back slowly, but not fast enough. The DP gets Leif out of the corner. We have meter to convert. But getting the optimal one, but a big close slash counter hit this time, prompting lamprella to use her burst as well. Into the corner to the other side. All right, the sword explosion still gives plus frames, I believe. And Leif once again finding a third DP out of the pressure. That was still in a recovery state. The big beak driver counter hit. The elk ends up missing, and a good BRC slows down and should get lamprella the kill. That's a little unfortunate there. The ender, I think, was way too prorated gravity vice, so the elk hunt was not able to combo anymore, putting Leif in a slightly awkward situation. Now with the BMB combo, we got all stamina ready to go. Pushing to the corner, nice tech, and just immediately switches out of there. And even though lamprella got hit on the way out, I think this is fair trade in situations like that. As long as you can get out of the corner, and better yet, getting the opponent in the corner. Burst is out, able to put the sword on cooldown as well. Lamprella getting her burst back. Now the rock barely ends up whiffing. More swords, get the explosion, plus frames. Waiting a little too long. I think lamprella was fishing there for the DP. For Leif has been DPing very, very actively, but that time it was not the DP, it was the mash with buttons. That is the RPS. Make the opponent afraid of your invo reversal, and when they hesitate, you either get out or press buttons instead. Now here's a good showcase there on the round start, how 5 heavy from Ram Lethal actually hits low enough for Sin to not be able to low profile under it with L count. Very kind of rare thing where standing buttons will just straight up tag the low profile frames of L count, because that thing low profile is quite a bit. A neutral trade. Oh, there was actually a hard knockdown there on Leif. Still able to switch the positions. Here we go. +6. Trading. Wait a second. That was supposed to be a low crush. The hoof stomp sometimes acting a little bit weird depending on what it has to beat. And there the frame advantage, I think, is too much for you to wiggle yourself out of that situation. And I think the flip kick, the 214K, is also an overhead, especially when performed on the ground still. I'm a little bit fuzzy on the rules or her properties of her newly implemented tools, but I think that's still the case. Punishable on block, overhead, and very fast. Is it borderline unreactable as well? Here we go from Elkan, but it was a little too short on the second stamina. Like we said, this 2 stamina mark. What was that? The niche showed the 5 heavy actually catching something there from lamprella, and then following up with just a quick hoof stomp overhead. Even though it didn't have the stamina hit confirm, Leif still had the 50 meter there. Now into a big combo, Rekka. We'll have to take it with the normal. However, I think because the sword was not home, that 5 heavy was not able to hit high enough. And now lamprella with a decent amount of resources won't be able to make that a safe jump. Oh, nice. Good timing of the bar slash landing from that air special move, whatever spaghetti it's called. Why? Yeah, blue RC will slow lamprella in place. Just jumps over. More to bottom. That was the highest commit read I've ever seen. Unfortunately, again, the close slash turns into a far slash. Leif didn't get a deep enough dash there for the BMB combo, and now might have to pay for that. 50 meter at home. That's a punish, right? Yes, indeed. Even due to the startup of the blue RC, we'll be able to get the punish off that. Did I actually forget to put a point on one of the players? This can't have been the first game, right? It was a long ass game. Was that the first game only? No way. That felt like 3 games, and I'm here like, you know, I'm not putting points on the players' accounts once again. Double jump over, nice switch there. So I really like how players use slightly rare kind of movement options. For example, dash jump into double jump, pass over the opponent, get closer to the mid screen, and make them face the corner with their back. Yeah, I swear that was game 2 as well. Maybe, like, I'm not sure though. Ooh, not enough frame advantage there on the landing, but still, Lamp able to get the combo going. Nice presence of mind, sees that the combo would kill, or would it? YRC reaches. However, the battle of 2Ks and Rams is maybe just a little bit farther reaching. I'm not actually sure. I think Ram generally does have tends to have really good K buttons. Ooh, backdash out of there. Elk side switch will put Leif in a really good position. From the +6, we go for a throw and a big close slash counter hit straight into the super. Save the stamina for the next round, or rather next screen. Lamprella has an option to go reversal super here. Won't be using it now. Good 6 speed, one more hit. It's gonna be the dash hoof stomp. A sort of maneuver that a lot of Sin players love, especially Leif. It's like, especially at the end of the rounds when you need to deal one more point of damage, and you might not even have all of your resources ready to be cancelled, but it's enough as long as you get the overhead, the initial touch, like so. Ooh, the bait! Into not quite full punish. I think Leif was out of stamina there, so won't be able to get the full special confirm, but this should be it. Straight into Tyrant Barrel is gonna be enough. That was much faster than the first round. This is testament to how much damage Sin can do on good hits, and Leif has been sticking very close, using those S buttons, especially close slash. Starting from that, you should always get a really good conversion, no matter, you know, what resources you have available. There we go, very defensive maneuver there. Jump back, jump heavy, preventing Lamprella from doing anything from the sky. This time though, the air special move of Ramlethals reaches long enough. This round has been a battle of air moves, jump-ins, zoning, all kinds of stuff. But now at the tail end of the stamina bar, yeah, that Beat Driver won't be able to go anywhere. So close to hit confirming it. Oh, again, waits for the YRC. Is that gonna be enough? We got the 1 stamina for the basic close range BMB, and that'll be enough for Leif. Starting with the throw. Just gotta kind of respect it when the sword throw goes online. We got the stamina here. Drop it before it wall breaks. Waiting for perhaps, not sure what Leif was looking for. Maybe thought that Lamprella had the burst there, but still, as long as the target is contained in the corner. However, the instant air dash out of there by Lamprella completely reverses the situation. We got the 50 meter for the hard knockdown as well. This could be really good. Backdash. Sin has a very long one. Gets out of there, but now very low on stamina. However, the Beat Driver hits from so far away that YRC won't be able to connect. Cancel and expenditure there. Leif, 3 in a row. That was a very exciting round there. Lamprella was able to flip the position, get the hard knockdown, and had the opportunity. But perhaps again, all of those reversal DPs that Leif played in the, they believe in the first game, and here we go, comeback of the DP. Leif took a couple of rounds to, you know, not swing that DP, but that's the beauty of the game. Sometimes you turn up the frequency of that move, and then sometimes you just hold it. Ooh, the patience there. Maybe was waiting for Lamprella to turn up a reversal super. There we go again. 5 heavy will be able to hit the low profile of that L count. 1, 2, 3. We don't have the 50 meter to RC, but that's fine. This combo could be it, or maybe not, because the RC will be pro-rating it a little bit too much. Now Leif will be completely charged with all of the resources available. No, 6 heavy! Unfortunately, it was probably a misinput on Beat Driver. Still, I think the Beat Driver would have extended himself into that explosion still. They'll get the finisher. Ooh, the 5 heavy juggling a little awkwardly there. I think what Leif probably wanted was a 2 heavy ender. But at that distance, the 5 heavy just ends up functioning a little weird. Into the 5 heavy, L count once again. Empty stamina, but we have the 50 meter here. Screws up the BMB combo, and here's the burst from Lamprella. Now's an opportunity to strike. Even if you get hit here, the 0 stamina on Sin basically makes sure that those couple of conversions are not gonna hit for much. But then, look at this. only a couple of seconds. It was like 5-6 seconds passed, and Sin was able to recover back to that 2 stamina threshold, which allows him to bam, bam, wham, bam, go into big conversions, such as this one. Half of your life gone. Stocks. Ooh, that was literally one stab, or rather one tension away from that Tyrant Barrel. It's gonna be plus, but now again, looking at a very low stamina situation, won't be able to cancel into anything but RC. I think RC wouldn't even reach at that range. So far range conversions are really tricky for Sin Kisk if you don't have stamina. It's kind of like close range you can always fix with meter, but max range far/max range beak driver, not so much. Ooh, will be actually taking the strike here instead of the throw. Or perhaps that was a misinput on the throw. Backdash successful once again. We get out of there. We built that real estate. And we actually have the kill by spending that lovely, lovely stamina again. It's so comfy as Sin because even if you spend all of your resources on one combo, you know that you are in the current iteration of the game. You are fairly high health character, are you not? You can take punishment and you can actually let your opponent have a turn because you know when their turn ends, you're gonna be at 3 stamina again. So I think Lamp wants to take a small break here, small breather, which is of course allowed. It's one of those strategies that I've seen Leif using often as well. Is when the momentum is not going in your direction, it's completely fine to take a breather, try to put the opponent on ice, but most importantly, try to stabilize your own body and mind and get locked in for the rest of the set. And this is a really good point to do that as well. The opponent is basically on a win streak 4 in a row, so you need desperately something that can break that momentum. Ooh boy. So sorry if I cough during this week's cast. I'm trying to, control the volume of my voice enough so that I don't break my surgery stitches. It's nothing dangerous. I assure you. I'm old enough to, take care of myself properly. But yeah, going back to that stamina discussion. It's like when you spend all of your resources, usually like 2 to 3 stamina and maybe 50 meter, those combos are almost always gonna do at least 50% of the opponent's life. And then you're like, alright, so next touch I'm gonna have after this, even though I'm at 0 resources at the moment, or rather 0 stamina, I can wait and I can get pressured. And when we're done with your pressure, that means because time has passed since then, my 0 stamina have turned into 3 stamina, and if I get hit now, you're just basically toast. Sin effectively in Season 4 has turned into 2-touch machine if you get the high stamina conversions. Of course, if you're flowing with the momentum and, you spend 2 stamina, go into Okizeme, you're probably not gonna get just like that. You're not gonna get another 50 life conversion unless you're riding on the back of Risk build. Which could happen easily if you land a couple of close slashes. Sin is of course really good with close slashes. You have a lot of good options to frame trap, tick throw, go into high-lows, just keep up your pressure, stagger. Sin just loves to be at, close range to the opponent, so you could feasibly build quite a lot of risk before finding that close slash hit, and then just kill the opponent out of that as well. There we go, spending 2. And Lamprella not quite ready to go through the glass just yet. Has been able to build to her first 50 meter as well, which will go into defensive purposes there in the form of YRC. But now, again, far slash unfortunately wanted to get a close slash with that. But we'll have to take that combo drop for now. But like I said, even after that combo drop, even if you are pressured, that stamina is building back slowly. And now we can burn all of that for a very successful pressure. Elk. Usually minus even on hit, but it's basically an RPS whether you're gonna use the follow-up or not. As long as you have one in the tank, you can kind of bluff your opponent to not necessarily press against your Elk 1. And the super, yes indeed, even without supers, or rather without swords, that's gonna do quite a lot of damage for Lamp. And it looks like this moment that Lamp took is actually paying off. Backdash out of the sword explosion. I think with that maximum range, Lamp really likes to try to reset the pressure with that downward sword. But I think the downside is if opponent gets pushed way too far, they can attempt to jump out or backdash out, which you would probably have to read in some sort of a hard read kind of a way. Ooh, nice jump over, waiting for the burst. The burst does not come. But there we go, this time, using the 50 meter to bait it instead. And now, a little short on the super, but we don't even need it. The basic B&B combo damage is gonna be enough for Sin. Plus frames, but that's a plus frame situation out of the rock from very far away, so we'll be able to backdash out. Again, very prominently looking for those anti-airs. I think Lamp, it's been like 50-50 getting out of the corner with the instant air dashes. Leif has been very, very vigilant looking for those. So not too many of those have been able to rock. There we go. The fire, the Ondo, not fire, the rock is basically like a fireball as well. Same way as we compared Beak Driver to Fireball earlier. Nice, that's an air-to-air counter hit, and we will be able to go into an RTL, so this will be wall. Not the highest damage, but this is basically putting Leif into a win situation where there was a good timing. However, the timing on the backdash is immaculate as well for Leif. Damn, that's not the easiest thing to perform either, because Sin, even though you have a really nice backdash, it's a thick boy backdash, right? So it has a lot of active frames, it has a lot of recovery. So in situations where I think it's more suited to situations where you're playing neutral, so it can move you back great distances. But in the corner, it can be a little difficult to use, especially if the opponent is paying attention and trying to option select with their pressure sequences. There we go, the backdash in question gets Leif out again into another drop on those hoof RC combos. I think those are a little like slightly harder on. Ooh, that was a great read. Again, if you read a cancel into that into that rock, you can try to jump out an instant air dash as a punish. Sword goes past. However, we're still in a block string. Mind your ankles, mind your head. And now Leif, full tank of stamina, as well as decent amount of tension to go. Find the hit, RC, make sure that the wall stick happens right on the third Rekka, and it's gonna be a kill with close slash. There we go. Again, Lamprella is so close to getting her first score. These rounds, even though at the moment Leif is in a 5-0 lead, it's the Beak Driver actually stuck there. That was really funky looking. I mean, there was a lot of damage on the wall already. Ooh, nice escape there against the flip kick. Is that something that you can just do if you're reading that the opponent wants to do flip kick after the sword throw? Because the sword throw functions a little different now. You actually have to keep your opponent steady. You have to keep your opponent still for the second part of the explosion to go active, because the impact of the sword and the explosion has way more gap than previously. So how Ram tends to do it this patch, you fire the sword, then with that frame advantage dash in, press like K buttons or something like that, and then wait for the explosion for the actual frame advantage to go through. Good mash here. And into a conversion, we might actually use RC. Yeah, Lamprella really loves this full screen corner carry combo, which basically requires the 50 meter. But now, nice, go straight into the super cancel, because we did not have that stamina left to spend. Into a throw, one more, OTG, waiting for it. FRC out of that blue RC was that what I saw. Glides with the explosion, immediate burst. Yeah, Lamprella can't afford Leif to play, especially with this full tank of stamina. Any hit, oh, the jump slash gets the cake again. Even though Ram has like pretty decent tools airborne, I think it's the strength of the buttons that you tend to use, because the basic rules apply. Oh, was that game already? Yeah, I must have forgotten to put 1 point in Leif's account at the start of the round. Yeah, that's why that's why it felt like it was such a long time before we were able to put the first point on Leif's account, because there actually was a game there. So that means the set would in fact end in Leif's favor 7-0. But oh my god, Lamprella was so close to getting those games. Again, like that last moment there, the air-to-air situation, if Lamprella used slightly faster starting button perhaps, like K buttons, P buttons. I know it's very tempting to go for the big haymaker, which is like Ram's jump heavy, for instance, if you think the opponent will stay still. Or perhaps use her air special move, which is, you know, very good range and can prevent the opponent from doing much. But if the opponent takes action before you do, then you have to make adjustments as well. And this time, unfortunately, Lamprella goes down. Moving to the next one. So we've got to be... I mean, this is not a pair of... I mean, I guess we could say this is the first pair that is subject to the curse of the bet. Or maybe the blessing of the bet. Who knows, depending on from what point of the angle you're looking at. However, fact of the matter is, one of these players is the culprit who caused this bet to crumble down for so many people last week. This is Ina, who took down Paita on their Bridget, now playing Abba instead. And as a result of that bet, Jay has been forced to move on Nagoriyuki for at least a week. Interesting to see if actually let me prompt the players to join the room as well, just in case. Oh, never mind. I think we have Jay in the room already. Whew, I can already feel my vocal cords collapsing a little. Gotta be careful there. Control, volume. Don't get too excited. I know it's your favorite game. I know it's your favorite thing, QK, but, you know, relax, chill. So, as far as I know, this should be basically the first steps of Nagoriyuki for Jay. Or I guess because this thing occurred last Sunday, you could basically think of this as final for Jay's Nagoriyuki journey. Unless, you know, we've had conundrums where you know, people have made a bet that, all right, if something happens, I need to play the character for a week or a month or whatever, and at the end of that period, they've been like, this character isn't that bad after all, and I would like to actually keep playing this character. We had that happen to, who was it? At least it was Neve, right? Was it Neve with... Was it Neve? I mean, it's happened to so many players on certain different occasions that I can't even remember. But it remains to be seen if Jay actually wants to stick on Nagoriyuki afterwards. And the funny thing is, I'm not sure if this was planned by the players or if Ina was just here to snipe Jay, but I think I remember Ina wanting to play against Jay, so this could have been an elaborate snipe. On Jay's Nagoriyuki, in which case I assume that this is also baby steps for Ina's Abba as well, to make it as entertaining and make it as competitive as possible. Now these two characters, of course, we've seen this matchup in a couple of times. Very explosive, very important that you manage your resources properly, especially for Abba. Because there is, like, even though blood goes down very, very slowly, there are, should we say, some low-risk ways of actually acquiring less blood. Whereas for Abba, there is no other way. You have to interact with the opponent if you want to get more jealousy gauge, right? You either need to hit them, make them block something, or you need to parry with your, 7-frame startup parry, which is kind of difficult. You can't really do that on reaction against many things. Unless you're like parrying a fireball from full screen or something like that. But generally, you just have to get in on your normal mode, make them block something, perhaps find a hit, and then you have enough resources to activate your Jealous Rage afterwards. And here's the other thing. You know who starts with all of their resources at the start of the round? It is Nagoriyuki. 0 blood. That means you can spend, around 6-ish, depending on which special moves you use. But you can use a lot of special moves before you run out of steam. Whereas, Abba only starts with 5 seconds of jelly in the gauge. And on top of that, you actually have to activate it before you can take advantage of it. Ooh, good timing there on the bar // sequence, which is a very common place for a lot of players to burst against Nagoriyuki. I think there was some sort of tech that you can kind of do on the bar // sequence. I think it's delaying, is it delaying the last slash? Which can help you to remain on the mid-screen side of things and not get pushed into the corner or vacuumed into the corner by the burst. However, Jay here with the big starter, nice read there, swipes Ina out of the sky, and Ina just has been completely unable to activate that mode. And, oh, look at that again, the perfectly placed 2S, which, is just a perfect combination of disjoint, reach, and startup. That's buttons like that are kind of hard for Abba's neutral mode to overcome because Abba has very clumsy moves. Generally, when you're in normal mode, your best bet is to be point blank to your opponent. You can of course perform stuff like Kara key grabs, which allow you to stick to your opponent, get lots of plus frames, but unless you are in that point blank range, she doesn't do a lot of impressive things in normal mode. But now, with the first activation and the deactivation as well, tries to stay over that 25% threshold. Whenever you lose that, your ability to go into your ability to convert into good things goes down quite a bit. From the bar /, the activation again, yeah. I think, so far, based on this, these 3 rounds of footage, I think Ina is one of the more safer Bridget players. Sorry, not Bridget players. I mean, technically a Bridget player, but one of the safer Abba players that I've seen. Just not taking that hard gamble where you say, all right, if I get this hit, I win, but if I don't get this hit, I will go pop. Again, look at this, deactivating, and then I believe activating here again. Yes, indeed, very nice routing there. And breaking the wall with the Keeper of the Key. There's a couple of options that you could do here. If you route into normal mode, then you can finish with your reversal super, which will put you in the mode. But if you're already in the mode and don't have enough time to dance between the stances, you can just break the wall with Keeper of the Key. Completely fine. Oh, ooh, there's a pop! But still, the backdash afterwards, the fight heavy actually finds its mark. I'm surprised that Jay was not willing to swing there. Even in Blood Rage mode, your buttons are basically turbocharged. Got the overhead. And let's see, do we get the deactivation? Yes, indeed, into micro dash key grab. That's the basic stuff that I think so many Abba players just are lacking sometimes. I think routing on Abba is one of the, I think Abba is one of the most important characters in the game to just route properly. And the tricky thing is that there are just so many ways to route. That actually breaks the wall, with really great presence of mind. And now into an empty low. Rekka. But that's gonna be -2. Tries to backdash out of it. Jay has a 2S going online here. And into zero jelly situation, dancing back and forth. Ina slowly running out of options here, but this is technically Ina sitting on a round lead, so technically not necessarily forced to use the burst. Uses it still. I think Ina still had some jelly left in the tank and was really close to a 50 meter, but this time the burst investment not gonna be paying off. And from that -2, from that jelly overhead. So hard to contest buttons from characters such as Nagoriyuki, for instance. 2S, forced to block it. Here comes back Fukyo. Oh, this is gonna be a punish. First out. Guarantee that there's nothing nasty happening. However, being in the normal mode, that Keeper of the Key is very, how should we put it? Less significant than in the Jealousy mode. And speaking of the Jealousy mode, sees the downside going active. Now attempted throw it, and here we go, throw instead from Ina. One of the rare cases where you can actually afford to throw. I mean, if you're completely stacked with that jealousy gauge, yeah, you can spend a throw and get like OTG close slash into an F Shiki into good setups if you have a lot of that jealousy left. If you don't though, on like 50% or less jealousy, it's really hard to justify going into that throw because it spends so much of your gauge. I think it's like what, 3 seconds that you have to spend on that. Ooh, was waiting for the burst initially, but Jay smartly delaying it as much as possible. And now into activation. However, Tragedy strikes Ina. Didn't notice that Jay was actually gonna pop. Here's the better version of the Keeper of the Key. Basically forces an airtight mix-up here. Wham bam! All of those hits will guard crush you, which basically means there is no auto guard. You just have to sit still and not press any buttons. As Abba is coming in with a basically airtight pressure sequence if they so desire. Nice deactivation there, and activating mode on the side switch, or rather the stage switch. Good backdash, actually able to avoid the far slash from Ina. The subtle difference, I've seen some ABBA players favoring the 5 heavy in jealousy gauge or jealousy modes more than the far slash. Of course, the far slash is a great button as well, but it tends to have limited amount of rage compared to the bigger button that is 5 heavy. Especially when you're chasing the opponent, the 5 heavy tends to offer you just enough range more than far slash to, you know, catch stuff as stuff like backdashes from the opponent, and you have to kind of assume that you're like, when you have your mode installed, the opponent is probably usually gonna run away, right? So it's way more likely that they try to backdash, try to jump away, than try to engage with you. So you want to try to fish with like some of your farthest reaching buttons if possible. Gets that 2P out there, which is a 4-frame mash. One of the saving graces of Abba's defensive play. The back Fukyo though puts Jay in a perfect spacing there, just fire at 2S. We'll be really careful there. Missing downside is one of the cardinal sins of Abba. Especially if you're whipping it just outside of range of your opponent. We'll be able to combo into the Blood Rage pop. This is value. Unless, let's see, who's at an advantage here? So much blood available for Jay. YRC into a throw. Is that gonna be enough? Yes, indeed. Wow. Yeah, that was probably the only thing that you can do there. Jay had so much blood available, so much chip potential available as well that you just can't afford to block. You have to guess on the combo breaker, or rather on the sequence breaker. That was YRC that time. Into the mode. Ooh. Oh yeah, I'll counter it. I think that's a new thing, right? So downside in aerial counter it will now actually give you a decent combo like that. Or is that grounded hit as well? I forgot. And the routing is working for Ina. Ooh, I think the 6 heavy was probably not what Ina wanted to do. The Fukyo will get caught here, especially the back kind. I wonder if Jay does Fukyo forward here, would it be able to avoid the Keeper of the Key? I think not, right? Because there's like really good tracking on that, and the hitbox is just massive. I think it's generally like when you get wall broken into a soft knockdown against Abba, who is in jealousy mode and has 50 meter, you have to assume that they're gonna spend Keeper of the Key because it's just so strong. And there's like, unless you're a couple of characters like Sin Kiss or I guess Leo, there's just nothing you can do about it. Ooh, look at that footsies! goes into a safe Blood Rage pop. And now, even though Jay is gonna lose, you know, 50% of their life bar, they, in exchange, got a full stick of, or rather, empty bar of. Oh no! Wasn't able to quite outrange that. Was a good idea though from Jay. So in the meanwhile, Ina has been able to activate, and this combo should deal enough though. 5k ends up whipping there. We still have the tail end of the on the jealousy bar. Ends up not making a difference, for Jay has found a successful hit. Starting with the DP. Yeah, we're burning. We're going to the pop. Oh, baby, we're going to the pop. There we go. Maximum damage. And then instant overhead RC. Yeah, the classic sequence. And look at how much left on Ina. That was just set play through and through. It's been a while since I've seen that exact sequence. I think because of how Blood Rage and everything has been sort of changing as of recent, I don't think I've seen a lot of Nago players just commit to that. Usually starting from a round start counter hit DP, that should give you enough lounge and enough gravity to just basically do whatever and set up the pop in a really advantageous manner. Ooh, tried to throw there. Rage for the cookie jar. But behind the cookie jar appears a road roller. The deactivation, and now under pressure. That's so smart, holding the FD, pushing the normal mode up as far as possible. But oh wait, the initial hit of the reversal super actually ended up whiffing. I think would have needed like a micro dash to go with it. But then on the other hand, as soon as it was done whiffing, just goes for Danzai instead, which is fully armored. Here comes the neutral mode once again. Ooh, okay, that's a pretty decent expenditure of 50 bursts to get into your mode. However, YRC is actually, well, the kind of effect that Jay was hoping for, this will be achieved because Ina is gonna go pop. Ooh, great. Command dash straight under Nago's 5 heavy. 2P interrupts the further sequence, and a 2 heavy countered into a 6 heavy OTG. Wow, that's the new Nago damage. You don't really need fancy stuff. Oh, that's a counter hit. And Ina does not have the burst ready to go. This time won't be routing into any sort of pop kind of situation. Just taking it easy. Now Ina with the full 10 seconds of jelly will be able to get the wall stuck. This is around 7 seconds of jealous mode left to play with, and a hard knockdown. So there's just so many things that Ina could do here. I think first real routing error there had a little bit of a brain fart, probably like what was gonna happen after that wild assault, but still keeper of the key in the follow-up situation. There is nothing that Nago can do, even Nago could do to avoid that, I think. Unless it's like Clone Fukio just doesn't get you out of there, does it? I don't think so. There's just basically nothing that can escape it, at least from that kind of distance. Maybe like Alpha Blade or something, if it's already going out. He's just, the keeper of the key in Jealous Rage mode is like nigh impossible to evade. Right, with a small amount of lead here, into a counter hit far slash, immediate burst from Jay. But Ina also bursting into a basically guaranteed activation to the other side. The air buttons from special mode ABBA are so good. We'll be missing that ending key grab there. Would have been super nice to get that activation. But now at least off that combo drop, Ina does have full jealousy gauge ready to go. Activate. And look at this pop. Ina sees it. Ina sees the pop. I was worried for a moment that they weren't looking at the opponent's pop gauge. One of the most important things that you gotta have down against Nagoriyuki. Great Abare there with the 6P. Alright, able to push normal mode up far enough away to get into your favorite striking distance, but this is also the favorite position of Ina. Goes for a hard bait on the burst. Burst comes a little delayed here. Super jump will be gelled by the keeper of the key. That was really naughty trying to go over. However, Ina chose to go with the low instead, the 2D. Moving over. Right, initial. Oh, that's gonna be a kill, right? Especially with the 100 meter that Ina had. They were, even though that was under 2 seconds left for Ina on the jelly, there's just so many things that you can do with tension if you want to fix your routing. That's kind of like something that the strongest ABBA players are doing, and we usually see, such as like Tiger Pop. It doesn't matter, even if you're running out, you just use the RC, you dance out of mode during the RC, and then at the end of the combo, you activate your jealousy again with the use of key grab. And then that basically gets you like a full refund on your jealousy with the use of 50 meter. Ooh, gonna be dashing straight into that pop. And now Jay has a big advantage here. Tries to dance, the command dash tries to go under the 5 heavy. However, the timing is crucial and loses the timing RPS this time. Oh, that was not a counter hit. I think that's only available. The combo that Jay was trying to do is only on counter hit round start. And the burst is red as well. Ina's looking really strong here. Activate with the more optimal damage combo. Slightly under 10 seconds, ready to go to the other side. Yeah, you're not blocking these. Micro dash into far slash. It's just not much that you can do against the special mode ABBA. This will give activation if we don't screw up the combo. That was almost optimal, and a wall break as well. Wow, Ina's definitely been looking at the ABBA routing. I see 2S, no, and that was a trade as well. That opens up some of the hardest hitting combos for ABBA. Yeah, good night. That's actually way worse than... Oh, there's an extra point. I think Ina is at 6 here. So that's like even worse than getting hit by Keeper of the Key is trading into Keeper of the Key. Because that basically knocks ABBA out of the recovery, allowing her to run up to you and just combo freely out of the juggle that she would usually not be able to do so.
Mankind knew that they cannot. Duel 1.
Alright, the close slash finds the anti-air on the very high altitude ABBA. Aggressive burst, put them in the corner. Try to keep them here. Nice, I love that. So the thing is, like, when you're close range, you're doing like your bar slash sequence, for instance, and you see Nagoriyuki do Fukio. You can't really tell the forward Fukio or the back Fukio apart. So sometimes the back Fukio you can try to try to fish out their Abare attempts, which is what Jay did here. But I think with this hit, that should be enough to get the kill. Yep, no matter what Ina does here. This is, I think, is this set point position for Ina? I think so. So we got the DP, no counter hit this time. Ina has been a little more cautious there on the round start and not eating the counter hits as of recent. Ooh, counter hit. Jay knows that would be so much value. Ina would get into the mode as well as score a lot of damage. Back throw, unfortunate combo drop. We can't afford those at this point. The FRC mix-up is blocked and out of there with the pop. That was the right call out for Jay there, using the 2S, because they've seen Ina trying to dance through with that command dash quite a bit, and that's gonna be enough, right? Definitely the routing and the combos were some of the most impressive things I've seen from all of the Bounty Hunters ABBA players so far. But on top of that, also the patience to not overcommit. I think Ina had a really good mix of, you know, hard committing into a win when there is a win to be had, but also was like willing to back away from situations where it's not guaranteed that your the continuation of your jealousy gauge is guaranteed. It's like a very sort of safer kind of style where you're sometimes, if you don't get the most optimal hit that you were looking for, if you don't have the 50 meter to refresh your jealousy gauge during your combo, you just disengage from that situation. Deactivate, at least go back to neutral knowing that next hit is super good, and next hit I'm gonna have enough resources to, you know, convert into those install activations. Right, moving on. Also, thanks, Jay. I hope you had fun here. Interested to see, like, I would be interested to hear what you're gonna do with the Nago Yuki after this. Are we just gonna go back to the good old main after this, or is there perhaps further Nago adventures in the horizon for future? Anyway, the third matchup here is gonna be the hardest hitting, the highest level matchup available, GuessingGame. So two extremely heavy-hitting characters. I think Gold Louis here is definitely the more traditional, higher-hitting character. We know the damage that Gold Louis can do from close-range hits, close slashes, behemoth starters. You know how it is. But also the convertibility of Anji. I think the damage that Anji has been able to dish out throughout the lifespan of Guilty Gear Strive has remained relatively same-ish. Maybe slight damage drops between versions, but the thing is, the convertibility of Anji's spokes has gone up as time has passed. And now we're in a situation where, like, Nagiha finally converts comfortably without spending resources. It's slightly unfortunate that Rin doesn't, though. Even when you try to dump meter on Rin, the Hujin overhead, it just doesn't work anymore. Just like, you know, you can't dump meter on Nago's DP anymore. Unless you have like a air counter hit or something like that. But I think getting rewards from the low follow-up is way more important. So that you can force your opponent to not, you know, do stuff like mash DPs, mash reversal supers. Like, giving your opponent incentive enough to not do things during your pressure too willy-nilly. Right, GuessingGame, one of the top Gold Louis players in the region. I think Guessing had a small hiatus, like spanning of like, I'm not sure, a couple of weeks at one point. And I think Guessing got a job at some point as well, so no longer unemployed gaming, but we've been going strong nonetheless. Speaking of strong things, this pressure, butterfly pressure, or the Oki loop of Poki, was able to build 50 to make sure that the pressure continues even after the overhead was that spaced so that with Gold Louis's buttons you can't actually punish there. I think, like, unless you get a range where Gold Louis can go his 7-frame 2K, there really isn't punishing a lot of the opponent's stuff. Dance into makes it a guaranteed Midare instead of committing into the big close slash. Overhead still gives you a hard knockdown where you can run in and go for your close slash meaty pressure. There's the Nagiha though. Tries to fish for a hard bait on the burst. Again, waiting for the burst from GuessingGame, which is doesn't seem to be coming out at all. And here's the reversal super. We don't need burst yet. We're gonna actually save that. The white wild assault is super important. Maybe not in this matchup, but in many other matchups where you tend to get zoned. I think in this one, yeah, I'm not actually sure how Gold Louis ends up using meter in a matchup like this where the opponent just wants to run at you. But from that one time when Guessing actually gets to play, oh boy, he plays hard. And immediately Poki goes down that round. Yeah, that's the 2K, but it doesn't reach far enough away. I mean, it reaches far for a 7-frame button, but still, I think you would have to get like an instant block to guarantee getting a punish in a lot of these situations. Once again, RC making sure that the pressure goes on, finds the hit, and here comes the conversion. Drops it though. 50 meter in the tank. This time it's, ooh, actually not going for the super. I think it might have been a misinput of some sort for Poki. Maybe not getting the Kara super there. Nevertheless, Poki with a very, very dominant performance. I mean, I think it's gonna be like this. So we saw first round, absolute domination by Poki. Second round, absolute domination by Poki again until Guessing got one button in. And it was just complete bloodbath for Guessing after that. So I think these rounds have a lot of potential to go just in one player's way. Especially since it's so hard to interrupt this pressure, and the longer you let Anji, you know, do stuff on you, the closer he gets to that 50 meter, and once the 50 meter has been acquired, then, oh, you can do mix-ups like this, such as the backdash BRC overhead, but also just being able to pick up the pressure after, like, Rin or usually Nagiha. Ooh, finds the reversal parry super, and that's gonna be enough damage. I think Guessing was reading a backdash there, went for a meaty 6 heavy if I saw correctly, which sort of signals like an intention to, I want to catch you no matter where you go from this wake up situation. Alright, with a successful combo and the heart knockdown. The heart knockdown is super important. Because you don't want Gold Luis to get to press the advantage. You don't want Gold Luis to play at all. Yeah, let it flow. Poki knows. And look at this Poki with that 25% meter from the tension bonus penalty. Oh, that's a little bit too far to connect with the far slash, but ends up not mattering. Poki takes another one in a row. So far, ladies and gentlemen, Guessing has gotten to press buttons just once. Exactly once. Ooh, that's a great whiff punish by Poki. You gotta be very careful. Any button, like even though Anji is not necessarily like a fundamentals neutral based character, he does have a pretty fast far slash, so you can definitely go for whiff punishes, especially on those missed behemoth typhoons. And again, look at this, one touch. Ooh, but now Poki will actually have a small chance here to reversing the situation. Nope, not gonna let that happen. The YRC immediately, even with the highlight, here we go with the counter hit, 5 heavy, one of the party starters for Anji. Hard knockdown from the Rin, good mash there. Overhead again, secures the knockdown, and that puts Poki in a position where we get to play the backdash instant overhead once again. However, wasn't able to flow out of that. And now we are in the danger zone. The cross-up, we got Heavy Milia at home. Unfortunately, wasn't able to queue up the super there. I think the wall slump or the wall stick was at a very unfortunate timing. Poki trying to mount the comeback. I think Poki didn't press a button right. When reads the follow-up situation with that 100, of course we would go into the BRC, the BRC super cancel. And now Poki with the close slash counter, that's gonna be enough for sure. What a back and forth. That was definitely the most interesting round so far in this set. Both players had something to say multiple times. Look at that! The 2P! The best 2P, I swear, the best 5P 2P in the game. Anji, the range that almost equals 2 S's. There we go once again, Nagiha minus enough for Guessing to take some sort of measures into their own hands. Although the very spaced Nagiha has been a little tricky to deal with. I think it's the curse of these low mobility characters that you kind of have to try to thrive through defense. So like getting instant blocks in this matchup is probably really important for Gold Luis. Uh-oh, but that's a bait. And don't, I think Poki doesn't even bother going for the micro dash close slash because he knows that's just a couple of hit points left. Just press the S and go next round. Good 6P. Into butterfly setup. Now we're, again, at the very start of the round, we are on the hunt for that 50 meter for Poki. Trying to do a couple of bluffs, couple of pressure resets so that we might get into that 50 meter range. However, Guessing does not allow that to happen. Poki finds a pressure situation, the 2S initially whiffs. Good IBFD there. It's not just the IB, but the IBFD can, you know, can, depending on the distance, push Anji far away. There's the backdash PRC mix-up once again. Rather, the FRC mix-up. Good timing on the 2K. Oh, interesting. That was a very delayed very delayed PRC there, which allowed Guessing to actually jump forward. Here's the first wild assault of the set of the white kind. Putting Poke. Oh my god, that was so ambiguous. It's so hard to see when the cross-up is possible there. And utilizing that Guessing, powering through, wasn't quite able to build up to that 50 meter, which he would have definitely wanted. 2P, stagger pressure, loading up the super, but I think... okay, both players sinking a lot of resources. Poke using the slightly more precious one. The full blue burst to keep the opponent in the corner. That's a counter hit, and I think goes for the hard read again on the burst. Are we gonna burst? When are we gonna burst? Would we burst? We gotta burst. Sooner or later, we gotta burst right? No! Guessing is like, we're still fine. We still have a lot of hit points left. But now, because we have so little hit points left, even the Rin is gonna be enough of a threat to end the round. Damn. Still, even though Guessing didn't get to use that burst, that was a lot of value that Guessing was able to extract out of that through the opponent's hard baits. It's not always like, it's not the easiest thing in the world to evaluate sometimes. Of course, you're like, Garfield, why did you die with the burst? But take a look at how much value was extracted. But there's the burst bait. Poke has been trying to, you know, trying to bake that in the oven for the last 4 games. And finally, finding the burst bait. Alright, good interruption with the 2P. Now we go into the mix-up. Was probably looking for a burst out of Poke, but this time Poke with the value for delaying the bursts. The burst metagame has been one of the focal points so far for deciding. Nice, got the whiff punish there. I think Poke is literally 2 out of 2 for possible whiff punishes this set. That's a mark of an absolutely great player. Walking back, waiting for the buttons to whiff, especially the Behemoth Typhoon. If it does, be locked in, get the whiff punish, and then from that whiff punish, are we just gonna maul? This should be a good reversal here. What? Was that a Kara cancel? Into Kazuo Hugetsu? What the fuck? I've never seen that before. Poke with the absolute madness stuff. What was he? I thought there was a far slash that Poke was doing there. Wait, you can just cancel that, right? If it's on block, you can just cancel. Man, that's kind of nutty. All right, we got the overhead. Now Poke is getting really close to that 50 meter. Any pressure sequence we can go in. That Nagi has this time don't even need to spend. Unfortunately landing into not enough frame advantage, and now it's Guessing Game's turn. Unless Babs was waiting for Poke's defensive measures out. There's the defensive measure in question. Sex with a man. We go to the corner again. Plus frames from the Nagi. However, not plus enough at that range that Gold Blues wouldn't be able to go for the wild assault. Nice pick up there. Now we are out of security gauge though, but the F-Shiki using the 50 meter to secure a mix-up of other kind there. The F-Shiki instant overhead, allowing Guessing to get around here, and from the 2K, misses the combo. That's slightly unfortunate. We are still on a full security gauge. That was probably a miss-up on the Behemoth Typhoon. Usually you don't want to see TK Behemoth Typhoons. Those tend to be misinputs. However, counter hit 2D. That's another party starter for our Japanese dancer. It's like close slash, the classic 2D counter hit, 5 heavy counter hit. Those are some of the best juggle starters that you could get. We'll have enough. Ooh, interesting! Dancing through the drone. Here's the burst bait attempt once again for Guessing, but Poke doesn't bite. Both players still with. All right, I see. So this time choosing to just say, all right, if you want to burst, you burst immediately. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go into an FRC combo and make the combo happen so fast that you just don't have feasibly time to react to it. You would just have to lock in and press the burst immediately. Nice interruption with the 2P once again. Won't be able to get over Pokey. But securing a follow-up combo now. Get this pressure. We have 50 meter. And that means even if this would have been blocked, even if Pokey would have been able to push Guessing away, the pressure wouldn't have ended here. That's why the 50-meter threshold is so important for both of these characters for pressure. Now, look at this. Ooh, too close with that haymaker. Pokey finds a back turn. Into interruption. Yeah. Is this gonna go into the right direction? Yes, indeed. Kachohu gets towards the mid-screen, but that means that Guessing is gonna have some real estate to play with here. No, Guessing, I thought that Guessing had the perfect timing there, was waiting for the dance and saw it coming out, but it was Pokey who ended up throwing after that. RC, yep. Can't do much if you are PRCing here versus Anji, but at least you can save yourself. Plus frames from the stray, what's that called? What's the plus frame follow-up called? I'm so bad. I just keep forgetting the names of Anji's special moves sometimes. Ooh, the shimmy here. That's gonna be a kill, right? Yeah, baby. Pokey bursting as soon as possible, yet that puts Pokey at a very, very dubious life situation. That's the price you pay when you try to throw against Goat Lewis. That time Guessing was going for the shimmy. I mean, Pokey has had really great back throw incidents to defend with. Now spending the security gauge, bouncing the opponent back and forth. The meaty timing is completely off here. Ah, nice. Initial RC. This should be a kill, right? Yes, indeed. Guessing is just getting warmed up. Pokey has had a very dominant start to this set, but I think Guessing is definitely one of those characters, or rather one of those players who takes a little bit of time to potentially warm up. And now, I would say Anji is also a character that is... Anji is very different. You can't practice against Anji by playing other characters. To practice against Anji, you gotta play against Anji. And on top of that, sometimes you can't practice against a particular Anji player. You need to experience the kind of options that they flow with, the timings that they use. It's always Gamba when Dance... what's it called? So we get to the Hakobi is concerned. I think Pokey didn't press a button here. Yeah, so punish is imminent. 5 heavy into straight. Now yes, indeed. Very important round here. Pokey from a big cover hit, 5 heavy, is gonna threaten. Yeah, immediately goes for the burst. Guessing knows we can't let that happen. We need to get the momentum back. We can't let Pokey go on that 6-pointer. But so far, it looks so... Oh, okay, no overhead there though. Was that an advanced shimmy or a misinput on the overhead mix-up? Spend the wild assault. Yeah, make sure that it ends here. I kind of agree with Pokey here. Spend everything. Don't let Guessing play. You never, ever want to let Goat Lewis play. Spend everything. Your life savings. Pawn your house. Just make sure that Goat Lewis does not get to play, because this character is one of the most explosive characters in the game. Even on, you know, even if they make you block something, you can... Oh, that's a big one. Yeah, Pokey knew. Immediate burst there. The heavy button counter hits hurt quite a bit. Nice, dances into the jump D. Like, this is a very peculiar matchup where going for the jump D is not necessarily like... It has a lot of risk, because what if the opponent is just dancing at you? It's just a massive timing RPS whenever Anji is concerned. Still got the combo there, I'm surprised. And the super, don't need it, just got a special move. Skip to the next round, save time. We're speed running this. Pokey is like, nah, it's over. It's over for you, old man. Getting a bluff there. Able to go for the head, for the held follow-up into another one. Keep up the pressure using the 50-meter. Bluff again with the use of Butterfly. Pokey is just getting all sorts of advantages here. Finally, Guessing finds an opportunity to interrupt. However, the 2S goes active, not fast enough, and then Pokey with a big burst read, backdash FRC, overhead, is it the kill? Not quite yet. Gold Luis's health allows Guessing one more opportunity to play 2P straight into 6 heavy. That's how it ends. Pokey, what a performance. This guy, I want to say one of the fastest developing players I've had the opportunity of observing in the community. Pokey's just made so much progress throughout the past couple of years. From humble beginnings to a point where we can beat these like 2K rating top dogs. Pokey is thriving. But man, GuessingGame, whenever GuessingGame was able to actually get buttons out, it's such a high frequency where they can actually finish the round. The problem is, it's so hard to get your turn. Especially since you're playing against a weird character like Anji. Anji dances, and Anji makes you gamble, Anji makes you guess. You have to try to guess the timing at which the dance is coming in. If you just sit down and do nothing, I'm just gonna recover from the spin and then press buttons on you, and then the pressure just goes on and on. It's kind of like a character you can't afford to not RPS with. Alright, more players who are trying different characters today. It won't be Kuro though. Most of the bounty hunters appearances that Kuro has had have been with Happy Chaos. But here comes, get this, RageWolf Leo. So RageWolf is one of our go-to Bridget players, I believe, as well. But won't be playing Bridget tonight, is gonna be that gorilla man himself, Leo. Completely different kind of archetype of character. So, Leo, a character that allegedly has some mobility problems. Will that play into the advantages that Happy Chaos can build? I haven't seen this matchup very often, so I want to say, especially being a step dash character and not normal dash character, that should be a disadvantage, right? Right? Am I crazy saying that? Am I crazy assuming that? Just looking at these characters at face value? Going to your like further reaching options that could be, for example, the Sonic Booms, the 5 heavies. Those reach quite a far distance, but I don't think those actually do that much against Happy Chaos, do they? Either way, first time we see RageWolf rocking this character, how it's just a completely different kind of world. So I'm super excited to see how RageWolf tackles this character that is Leo Whitefang. And then on the other hand, how does Kuro manage to control the round so that you don't get jungle drummed all over? Of course, when you get the pressure going as Happy Chaos, you're still facing that S flash kick, one of the best reversals in the game. You know, arguably they do argue which one is better, Sin's DP or Leo's S flash kick. The thing for a flash kick is that the input is perfect. It's like doing a DP is kind of a hard motion. Flash kick just pressing one button, right? So you can feasibly react to some things and just get the flash kick out way faster than you could get a natural DP. Right, very early burst here. Nice! Sees Kuro air dash over. Was ready to queue up the air throw, but now we need to get back in the step dash. I was lamenting the mobility disadvantages of the step dash. However, when you are at a particular distance, that step dash into normals is actually a blessing. That basically, effectively, like that, Like step dash into 2D gives you a little bit of extra momentum, a little bit of extra range in order to reach the gunman. But now the control, you reload the bullet. It's actually gonna be a kill? No, not quite. Leo is quite the heavy boy. But now the zoning, we're locked in, and we're actually going into the cross-up mix-up. It's one of the rare cases where you could have probably seen some amount of zoning, some amount of lockdown in the old classic way from Kuro, but generally in modern day Happy Chaos matches you usually commit to those mix-ups like pretty fast. Alright, getting 2 extra bullets from this super, fill up the chamber, get the heart knockdown. Now what kind of stuff are we gonna do next? Is this a safe jump, I assume? I'm actually not sure if Happy Chaos has a safe jump on 9-framers. YRC, yeah, immediately prevent the gorilla from playing their game. Get the throw. Into. Ooh, there was a 1 extra bullet there. Looked a little dangerous. From the stagger pressure, from the plus frames, finding the low. Waiting for a response, but the response never comes. And now, at the very end there, goes for the big gamble and uses the blue burst. Gun is full, however, hands are shaking. We could have super concentration, but it has its risks if you just go for a raw super concentration. What if the opponent was step dashing at you instead? Ends up not mattering. All of those points are moot for Kuro. Patient play, waits for their turn, checks if the gorilla wants to come forward. No? Alright, then I will go forward myself. The delicate dance here. Alright, with the new improved turbulence, which does push opponents so far away that even though it is quite minus, you won't be able to punish anymore. Unless you get an IB? Maybe? Curse has been applied into the strike throw mix-up. There's no way out of this. But also there is no hard knockdown to be had, but perhaps Happy Chaos is one of those characters who doesn't necessarily want the hard knockdown every single time, especially since, you know, you're a little bit better at neutraling than the opponent's character. White Cursed has been applied. We're in the mix-up position. Goes very close to going pop. So now spending a little bit of extra time outside of that gun stance in order to build the concentration back. Ooh, perfect! The Rekka one into RC. Sees the imminent YRC. It's like, what is the opponent gonna do? They don't have burst available. They have tension available. Of course they're gonna go into the YRC. A little bit of a shimmy action here. However, that was instant air dash, so timing didn't quite align to get the perfect punish here. Straightforward BRC into some more mix-up action. We're out of concentration. Here it comes. Full concentration. And is, I think, plus for most normals, right? I forgot exactly. But I'm gonna assume if Happy Chaos lands a button on me and goes for super concentration, I think I'm probably gonna respect that most of the time. Ooh, that S-boom is gonna catch the backdash, and now RageWolf in a mauling position. YRC is what ends it. However, SDP gets the pressure back, and since we're so deep in the corner, that SDP actually puts RageWolf in a pretty decent distance to press advantage afterwards. 1-1.
Duel 1.
That's what the announcer said as well. Yeah, that's gonna be a punish. The downside of going into a deep step dash 2D is that you have a bigger chance of ending right point blank with your opponent, and in those cases, that 2D is quite minus and punishable. And from that situation, Kuro has been able to build up some nice life advantage, and here come the resources back as well. Kuro has so much tension here. Yeah, we can basically deny RageWolf being able to play the game here. Yeah, cross-ups galore. In those cases, I think, like, you can try to flash kick, but if you try to flash kick at the wrong moment, you probably get locked down from your charge as well. Being very patient here. Ooh, I love there. With the threat of the DP, kind of reads that Kuro wants to hang back a little bit more, trying to bait it, and then bouncing forward with a close slash counter hit instead. Now with the pressure. Yeah. RC the Rekka. Into the cross-up Rekka. Ooh, finds the overhead. No pickup though afterwards. The BNB combo eluding RageWolf, which is, of course, a big problem. We're probably gonna try to fix that pickup if possible. Because that's gonna be one of the most common ways that you open people up of the, what is it, back turn, overhead, stance cancel into a pickup. To the other side. Oh, that's tricky. Kuro didn't take that into account. The back turn heavy, doesn't quite slam the opponent out of the sky. And now from the close slash pressure, we have no bullets. Help. Oh, that's not bullets. That's concentration. We got one bullet and a dream. Load a couple more. Ooh, into that cross-up mix-up, and that allows us to get a full stick of butter on the bullet department. Going bust there in terms of concentration for a moment, but once again on the full resources. Being very patient here, sees that RageWolf aligned themselves to block the air escape, so going back on their inputs with the BRC back drift. And when you are at that one hit point threshold, that S Sonic Boom actually becomes a threat. One of the few cases where you actually probably have to care about it. Alright, there we go. We got the hard knockdown, so able to recover a little bit of resources. Remember, it's a very delicate dance for modern day Happy Chaos. You run out of, especially concentration, really fast when you have the gun out. So you need to score hard knockdowns at certain intervals if you don't want to just spend 50 meter into like Deus Ex Machina or Super Concentration. Deus Ex Machina would be good here because we are kind of low on bullets. However, able to bluff a couple of extra ones. That's the RPS. If the opponent does not dash forward after your shot like that, just like that, this time the RPS favored RageWolf, and the second RPS read sees the YRC coming out, and that's a kill. Wow! That was such a long round as well. I mean, you kind of have to play very careful against the King Gorilla himself, so you can't afford to rush. And Leo being a very, very healthy target means that you need to mix them up like at least a couple of times. And even though, I would say even though Happy Chaos like has really great, one of the best convertibilities in the game, the combos never go like past like 1/3, 1/4 of the opponent's hit points. Especially against a heavy character like Leo. So you still need to mix up the opponent quite a few times. Not gonna be able to mix up that time, breaking the throw here, and here comes the 2K, cancel stance into a throw. Got the stance, pressure is so much dirtier now that you can combine the back turn buttons with a dash momentum. You can stick to your opponent like very, very long time when you actually get there. The cross-up Rekka, unfortunately, does not go punished with a throw. And here, look at that sliding momentum. However, first time to mix it up. Very low on concentration, though. Won't be able to take a gun out just yet. YRC back. And while that was transpiring, Kuro was actually able to build the concentration back up. Kind of like Sin Kisk. When stuff is transpiring on the background, at least you can rely on the fact that one of your resources is gonna be coming back the further the game is stalled, right? One bullet and a dream! RageWolf didn't believe it. I think RageWolf clearly saw that Kuro spent the last bullet and it was like, alright, you got nothing left, so I'll just send the 2D. However, able to recover from that situation once again. It's been back and forth so far. RageWolf starting with a full burst bar here in game number 4. And the last round at that. Ooh, got the frame trap, and now able to recover a couple of resources. It's always like a when both of your resources are running low, you have to make a choice. Are you gonna reload bullets, or are you gonna take concentration? And it's really tough choice sometimes because you know the concentration is the more important one. If it runs out, you can't do anything, but the concentration also comes back in due time when you are outside of the gun stance. 1 bullet. And a dream, perhaps! No shots! Backing off, getting 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots! But now this wild reversal super will go punished. Close slash starter. Immediate burst. Keep the opponent in the corner. Nope, I'm gonna be out. Oh my god, all of those shots missing! Unfortunately, that's the threat that you take when you go for hip shots. And remember, even if you have the curse on the opponent, that does not guarantee that your hip shots are gonna land. It just means that your reticle will find its target a little bit faster. But if the opponent is moving, or heaven forbid, if you take out the gun and shoot immediately and it misses, the curse does nothing. The curse just does nothing there. Alright, finding a low here. Into a B&B combo. Ooh, went for one too many dash throughs. Trying to mix it up really in a nasty manner. I think was going for a cross up there. But now Kuros will be able to throw that. Yes, indeed. Lots of resources, so we can kind of force the opponent to be on the defensive foot here. Wow! From the throw break, from the instant micro dash 2D, sense it! Oh, look at this, Kuro has so many rewards. We'll probably, yep. Maximum reward Deus Ex Machina. Not only was that a lot of damage and it killed, but it would have reloaded Kuro's gun as well. All the 6 bullets were missing that time. Oh, no whiff punish there with the gun. I think once the reticle actually manages to track onto you, it generally tends to stick. Alright, got an extra bit of value there from the curse before the punish. Fill out the gun. Usual stuff. And now look at this, Kuro has so much tension. Like, this is gonna be 1, 2, 3 special moves or rather normal moves, and Kuro is at 100. Yeah, this is just over. Oh, never mind, maybe not over. Not even super concentration. Kuro, please. All right, we'll be able to persevere enough to get the concentration back. That was a sweat-inducing situation. I thought Kuro with 100 meter there, and the opponent at 0 health. There is nothing that RageWolf can do anymore if Kuro just keeps spending resources. But I think maybe that's one of those situations where you're like, fuck, I have so many different options that I'm not gonna do any of them. Or you're like, I could do this. And when you're pondering between them, you're like, you end up playing nothing. Ooh, nice RPS there. Daring dash forward and goes for the low. The only thing that can basically beat Leo's parry stance, or whatchamacallit, maybe guard point stance? Not sure what the community actually calls that thing. Running a little low on resources. 2 bullets, really low concentration, but finds the hit. That's gonna be really important. Not quite Deus Ex Machina there. RageWolf gets the press. Ooh, no kill, no OTG either available. But from the cross up, able to take out the gun, and once the gun is out, once the gunshot has been launched, you are basically in a close range situation, you are in a cross up situation, or basically anytime you will be in a tick throw situation as well, depending on what mix up the Happy Chaos player wants to go for. All right, that will be bye-bye for that part of the HP bar. Now big momentum round coming in here. Last round, both players with full burst available. RageWolf threatening with a 2-game win. Buffer, nice whiff punish. Actually able to dash in all the way to close range, or rather close slash distance to get that punish. There was so much delay on that, or rather recovery on that move. Nice tech. Teching is a very common way to protect yourself against Happy Chaos approaching, because like a very common way of countering roll mix-ups, unless Happy Chaos does them like absolutely perfect, is to try to interrupt with a throw. And then of course you can potentially clear strike throw situations by taking the throw as well. Speaking of throws, here we go. 50-meter, dance through, immediate burst from Kuro. Guarantees the curse as well. Ooh, the heavy fireball coming, finds its mark, but won't get RageWolf the close range situation that he was probably looking for. Gun is out, gun is latched. However, the rhythm of the shots does not find its mark back there again. OTG with the 2S, not enough damage this time. Now RageWolf is in such a bad situation, tries to backdash, but that 6K finds its mark, chasing like the leg of the king. That we call Kai's 6K. Kuro able to even it out. 3 points each. The early game is over. We're transitioning into the phase where we're trying to utilize all of the data that we've gathered so far from the opponent. This is the adjustment phase. Kuro tuning up, turning up the frequency of the throws visibly, and then into the cross-up mix-up, of course. Gets a little bit more. Ooh, nice! We'll be able to get the blue RC out there. And the frame was throwable there as well. Sometimes it's not. Nice whip punish. Into more pressure. Nice backdash as well. Able to avoid the microdash 2D from Leo initially, but now, nice interruption. That was from plus frames, I think. Stance cancelled overhead. Once again, there we go. This time, Kuro doesn't want to deal with it. Understandable. I wouldn't want to either. Ooh, the 2 heavy ends up missing. So now Kuro is kind of out. But we are in a precarious position, kind of precarious spacing where, like, that close mid-range where Leo actually has options to send at your direction. Unless it's full screen range, it's not the easiest choice for you to swing as Happy Chaos either, even though you have really good buttons. Oh, that's unfortunate. Could happen to the best of us. However, RageWolf just sends the 2D again afterwards. What a champion! From a 2K, 2D into basic BMB conversion, and then the stagger pressure, taking the opponent closer to the corner. Next hit's gonna kill. Ooh, but nice instant air dash taco kick out of the corner. Tries to assume the steady aim stance, too late, because the gorilla is already coming for you. That was, I think, Berserker Slash that RageWolf queued up there to outsmart the bullet, as we say. Right, drift forward. Wow, there was a lot of respect here from RageWolf. Oh no! The tragedies of the tragedy situations! Putting yourself in the corner against the King Gorilla. Here we go. Hard knockdown, half of your life gone, and potentially, like, the saving grace here for Kuro is that you have a lot of resources, and the Gold Burst is the one that we're gonna go for. Right? Concentration ain't gonna expire for a while. Curse guaranteed as the heavy fireball is coming in, and then we take our own fireballs out. The cool thing is that you can jump, and if you manage to latch your reticle during the jump, even when the heavy fireball is traveling, you can force Leo into a situation where they can't move. So that kind of leads me to believe that the heavy fireball is just kind of utter garbage, is it not? As long as Happy Chaos has resources, or like,
Duel 1.
Happy Chaos should always almost be able to, like, just reverse that situation, unless, I don't know. From the gunshots, aggressive burst into the corner. Ooh, nice, was able to gets the opponent airborne, so was working with a really nice combo until the burst happened, and now the reticle is having some trouble finding its target. Get the curse again. There we go, reticle finds its mark. And the SDP reaches from that range. Into another one. Now full concentration. However, we need to block the mix-up before that. The Rekka 1, RC into. Yeah. That's one of the situations where you just can't throw the... You can't throw the Berserker Slash. When you combine the RC with the Berserker Slash, the frame advantage does not align in your favor, and I think it's just unthrowable. Kind of one of the knowledge checks that you have to know against Leo. The layer 1 is always throw Berserker Slash, and then the layer 2 is unless A, B, or C. Wait, huh? Kuro's concentration had already reached 100. I think Kuro went for the concentration, and then there was a couple of frames where they needed some natural recovery for that concentration. Took out the gun and fumbled. So now, because of that mistake, forced into a corner, we have resources to defend with, such as the YRC here, forcing a mix-up, getting a throw. Ooh, not recharging. All right, we're going in. But look at this, only 2 bullets, only a little concentration left, and Leo, RageWolf, does not forgive that. You played the aggressive option, so I will go in aggressive as well.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
All right, the very aggressive stance there, or dash there, into a low. Once again, the heavy fireball, even though RageWolf was able to get it out, just not getting a lot of value. That's much more of that, like, that's way better tool against characters who kind of have mobility and or reach problems, I guess. Even though, to a certain extent, you can approach behind it. Right, oh my god, the delicate dance here. Both players, like, barely whiffing on each other's. Once again, 2S ends up whipping a really great button, massive disjoint for Leo, but what it achieves in disjoint, it lacks in range. But none of that matters, for we have achieved a position where the gunman is down and has no bullets in the chamber whatsoever. Found the hit. Great start to the set. The cross-up does not bite this time, and only 1 bullet left. Yeah, there's only limited amount of opportunities for you to mix the opponent up. Perfect timing there on the reload. I think a couple of times in that same situation, Kuro has reloaded 1 extra bullet, which has put him in a punishable state if the opponent goes for a reversal, but this time did it perfectly. Alright, from the B&B combo, now we mix to the other side. The opponent has blue burst though. Ooh, not caring, back turn. Into overhead, both players just throwing defensive resources at each other. Despite that, blue RC made a mistake there with the meaty. Sending the 2D. That's a big hit on a counter hit. That's actually gonna sink. Man, it's so mind-boggling. It eats into your soul when you're pressuring Leo and they're doing point-blank 2Ds on you, and it ends up working. But I mean, the reason it ends up working is that a lot of Leo's tools just work well in tandem with each other. The SDP, the 2D, putting yourself airborne, throw in vulnerable, can catch your, can catch you walking back and forth if you're not blocking. It's gonna reach you from full screen. Even though those are very competitive options, they are options that can catch you off guard as well. Mix up time, 5D, only 1 bullet that goes bust on the concentration front as well. 1 bullet, but yep. RageWolf knew, if you start recharging here, I'm gonna punish you. Ooh, but this is gonna go punished as well. And RageWolf doesn't have the burst to get out of this situation. I think this is kill. Really close. Let's see if Kuro will be able to seal the deal. No! Just sends the 2D again! That's the hardest commit option against throw, I believe. My gosh. Alright, we're on the... we're over the half-time goal post. We can do this. From the overhead, stance cancel plus frames. No best pressing button here. Ooh, makes a mistake with the Smeedy though. Into the cross up. Nice, I like that. The deflect shield does take care of both the left and the right. Ooh, nice block there. I guess the better option would be if you think or react to the berserker slash in the corner, just throw it if you can. But I mean, second best thing is flipping your block into the right direction. At least you don't get hit. Full chamber. Got the roll mix up. With the use of the curse, the sides find their targets. Super concentration. We have so many resources here. This could be a checkmate here. The only limiter here for Kuro is the wall damage, which ends up being triggered. Close slash counter hit. No choice but to burst there. How are we gonna prevent the opponent from playing here? Oh, it's the same side! Rolled through! I think many players there, if they weren't perfectly vigilant, would have tried to flip their block to the other direction or trying to throw the opponent. However, landing in the front, I think both of those options will get baited. There we go, once again with the roll. Oh, but the Eisensturm hitting both sides here. Very upwards reaching hitbox, so the cross-up completely nullified. And now rerun in, one bullet, that's the one. Oh, tried to go for a very aggressive, very risky reload here. And another one. There we go, full reload. It was a little bit of a bluff, as they call it. Nice tap out of the sky, 5p. And because that is not 6p, that's way less prorated than what you would expect. Through the wall, and now are we just gonna maul? Yeah, we gotta press the button and get the gorilla out of us, or out of our yard. Yet the gorilla comes back so fast. RageWolf moving up to 6 points here, and I think we're gonna get the first disconnect of the event as well. Let's see if the players know this. We might be able to salvage it and not lose any rounds here. How did the players manage to get out of the game without... Huh? Or did one of them alt F4? Which certainly is not the fastest way out, I think. I think that's what has to have happened here. Because I don't think Arc System Works has, you know, taken these kind of situations into account. Yeah, I think that was just Alt F4. They were talking about improving some aspects of the online game in the newest, whatchamacallit, the patch note preview prediction, the thingamajig where they talked about what they want to do for the Venom patch. I think there was a mention of, you know, improving some of those features. But as far as I know, they can't really fix this thing, right? Because it's so rooted in the source code that they would have to make a new game completely. They would have to start the source code from zero to actually be able to fix these problems. It's kind of fucked up. Alright, Kuro back in the lobby, and we resume from a very RageWolf advantageous situation. 6-4. So RageWolf needs only one. Kuro 3 to go to take this home, to secure this comeback. But we've seen nastier, even harder to perform comebacks in our days, right, chat? Oh, did RageWolf end up disconnecting as well? Is this I think this is one of those issues where the players just can't see each other anymore. So unless that fixes itself, we might have to go for the classic solution where... Alright, is it good? Alright, it's good. Thank hell, time to rock it. 3 more games at most, but could be only 1 if RageWolf performs well here. And towards the tail end of this set, RageWolf has really turned it up. Nice whip punish there from the round start. These are the kind of things that you gotta do against Happy Chaos as well. Basic whip punishing, even though you potentially have an option to cover yourself on whips, it's not a free thing. The reticle does not attach itself automatically, like that. That's where the reticle actually spawned behind RageWolf. So you still have opportunities to play the same neutral game. That's a counter hit, misses the conversion, and completely misses the follow-up pressure situation as well. OTG is not available, I think, but from the cross-up, we go into mix-up, or rather pressure. And now Happy... I was about to say Happy Wolf. I mean, RageWolf is probably pretty happy here with how the situation has turned out to be. Ooh, I felt like there was some button missing there in that situation, or perhaps waiting for... I don't know. Missing with the 2S, and again a whiff punish from the side of Leo. Decent amount of resources. Starts with the taco kick. Perhaps fakes cross up, fake a roll cross up on the wall. Went bust there with the concentration once again. Super concentration to fix all that, but that's a lot of meter that Kuro had to spend on that. The concentration was really close to coming back as well, but I guess that's something you have to do. Maybe burst? No? RageWolf ends up playing it safe. I like it. I think there are universes here where players would burst in that close life situation here. Got the cross up. No flash kick that time. Cross up mix up once again. However, here comes the SDP. Again, this has been a kind of a bane for RageWolf, missing the... I mean, for both of the players, missing the basic meaty situations. But I mean, it's understandable when you're coming from another different character. The timings and like following the animations with your eyes might be just like completely different from whatever your character has worked with in the past. Deflect shield. Gets Kuro a little bit of needed distance. Oh no! Misses the combo! Super concentration to fix it. Low is blocked. Oh, and there we go. The infinite amount of mix-ups that was coming in for Kuro. Or not necessarily infinite, but the chain of mix-ups. Or as long as you have those bullets and concentration left. First game acquired. 2 to go for Kuro. Patience there, waits for the approach of the lion, and then swings with a 2S. Is the starter for Kuro. And then from the throw, we have resources for just a couple more mix-ups. 1 bullet in the chamber. What do we do with it? Go for a throw. Reload 2, and now looking for the mix-up again. There we go. Just had barely enough bullets. It would have been so nice to have Deus Ex Machina here to fill the gun. But now, forced to break the wall with 0 bullets left. The king is on the hunt. Misses the meaty timing again. Baits the SDP. Goddamn, Kuro is also tuning up the performance just at the nick of time. Perfect moment to bring your A game. This is where the champions are made. On the last rounds and games of the set. Just like in tournament events. Your opponent has a little bit of an advantage, but it's your job as a competitor to not break under that pressure. And now Kuro's job is to not break under the pressure of 0 bullets. However, was able to get the hit, reload a couple of extra shots. Curse is applied as well, which dissuades RageWolf to sit still, but does not sit still this time. Here we go, overhead. We confirm. There we go, and another one. Finds the hit. This is still not an end if RageWolf gets this round, and it's very likely as well. Meter for meter, you're not gonna run away. Or are you? Last bullet. This might be tough. 1 more mix-up. It is gonna be the throw, which RageWolf successfully predicts. Was able to bluff a couple of bullets there on the back turn or on the retreat. Oh, goes down. Once again, a set point opportunity for RageWolf. Both players starting full burst resources. Nice whip punish, beautiful. And and followed up with a counter hit in back turn. You have to burst that. Another one. Ooh, that's a unfortunate miss on the combo for RageWolf, but was able to follow through there on a follow-up situation. One hit to end it right here, and that, I think that ends it. Point blank 2S. You gotta have your BMB on point to bring that home there. RageWolf, with the character switch from Bridget to Leo, is able to bring it home 7-5 on the first time Leo match on Bounty Hunters. It was a great last minute effort from Kuro as well, making it really competitive. 5-7, a really nice score, but like if things went a little different there on the last round, Kuro could have actually had a really close run, but being able to make it 6-6 and then fighting for the last final Luigi. Yeah, it was really close. Really close. All right, here's our other pair affected by the incident. Both players forced to play different characters this week. Mox rocking Faust, Pablo rocking Testament. Completely different kind of characters from what these players usually rock. Mox is a Baiken player, Pablo is, I believe, an Anji player. And now playing more neutral-oriented characters. Now, Testament perhaps has the range advantage having a true fireball, actually having 3 true fireballs. It's like, has so many different ways of reaching you, even from far distances. You, of course, have the go-to, the basic Grave Reaper, now with Le Disjoint. Massive reduction of hitbox for Testament. Basically does not bring your hurtbox forward at all. Sorry, I said hitbox, meant hurtbox, of course. But also the full screen tracking Hungry Hippos, aka Arbiter Signs, and then you have your Crow as well. Now, if you hang back and try to throw bullets too much as Testament, of course that might give Faust an opportunity to take out his own victory condition projectiles, which is probably usually not gonna be the trumpet. Was able to procure it nonetheless there. Now, this is a very interesting thing to behold, how a fresh Faust player, how does a fresh Faust player sort of tackle the item throw RPS, and do we have the timings, the reactions required to convert into the best sequences after you see, whoa, okay, even though that was really far away, this reversal super will reach far and wide. I think both of these characters kind of share that sentiment, saying that, instantly seeing the Calamity 1 being rocked. Both reversals super slow, but have the reach to sort of compensate for it. I think these two characters are both very potential candidates for super PRCs. Generally considered slightly better option than just letting the super rock. Of course, sometimes you might need to let the super rock though, depending on the situation. Ooh, that's a big counter hit. 6 heavy into, I mean, it was 1-2 hits. Missing the super input there at the end, but with massive life advantage. Mox gets the close slash anti-air. Pablo with the last minute burst could potentially turn this around if we get the, we just need the stain. I think so far Pablo has struggled a bit getting that stain loop going on, which has allowed Mox to play slightly more aggressive that you might sometimes be able to play this matchup. It's been such a long time since I played this matchup myself as Testament that, you know, I don't exactly remember if it's in Faust's best interest to like sort of push the situation fast or what. Ooh, clever use of the floating air dash there. Completely bypasses the initial fireballs. There we go. There's the stance, or there's the stain. Prompting an immediate burst from Mox. Ooh, teleports to the corner. However, following it up with an immediate fireball. Yeah, look at that. clash on the disjoints. That Grave Reaper, oh, that was a miss input. Was trying to churn out the Calamity 1, but got an unfortunate 5k there. I think Calamity 1 is done with the K buttons, right? So that's just a very common miss input, I think, for Testament players. I've had that a lot of times myself as well. So when you see Testament being like 5k into Calamity 1, you're like, yeah, oh yeah. You tried to churn it out, but you just didn't get it. It's an important distinction, like, so that you don't make an assumption that, oh, my opponent is trying to 5k on Wake Up. No, that's not what's happening. Close slash starter. What are we rocking with? Missing the opportunity to go back to Stain, so we're rolling back to neutral. Ooh, very interesting angle there, but maybe slightly awkward angle from the viewpoint of Pablo. We'll have to block the ball. No, doesn't block it. Is this a kill? No, can't be. Or is it? Has to burst. That was gonna be a kill. Mox actually building a meter during that mix. And getting a surprising opportunity to end the round there. Over the fireball, the instant air dash is always the option. However, the downside for trying to instant air dash the fireball for Faust is that this exact thing. Your instant air dash is so damn floaty. So the jump D wasn't even a true punish here. Pablo could have actually RPS'd it with... maybe might have been able to crouch under. Or maybe... I think they tried to 6B that time, but the frame advantage wasn't quite there. Into a throw. This is great situation for Faust. We got the Afro on. Ooh, misses the meaty. Or perhaps wanted to go for an empty low, which Pablo was reading. There we go, the instant air dash this time. Extended hurt box, immediate burst as it comes online, and there's the punish on Grave Reaper. I think that was a fully charged Grave Reaper, which meant that you also stay in that recovery stage for an extended period of time. If Pablo was to just throw a normal Grave Reaper, I think it would have classed, right? But because of the charge, it just ended up being punished by the fishing pole of Faust's. Right, contest the... Ooh, was able to get it! Ah, nice plays from both players. Mox initially trying to evade the horde of Mini Faust, and then Pablo choosing the right button to punish on the landing or coming down phase. That's a throw. Calamity 1 works out, tried to go for a the meaty low Arbiter sign. Initially missing, but no worries. When you're a fireball character and your opponent is really low health, you generally have a really nice, really advantageous way to sort of checkmate. Wow, the timing there on the far slash. Perfectly aligning with the teleport. All right, miss it, close slash meaties. We can understand both players. Victim of the same conundrum. It's very understandable when you're playing a new character. The meaties are perhaps one of the first things that you gotta get on point. Whether you perform them by like a gut instinct, rhythm, or like visual aid, you gotta get those down. You can't miss your close slash. Well, that's a big counter hit. However, the little guy coming in from the background to save Pablo, or sorry, Mox. Arbiter sign, catching the backdash. Ooh, perfect prediction there, sends up the up fireball. However, Arbiter signs are only so much tracking, so if your opponent is dashing forward moving trajectory might make you miss your hippo. Meteor's coming, gotta be really careful. Guard crush, we got an opportunity here to pressure. Commits hard on the overhead, sorry, the command grab. And now Mox, yeah, had so many different ways of finishing it up with that 100 meter. Mox is going 3 in a row here. I think if we consider, so think about these characters in the hands of beginners. I mean beginners as in when you're playing this character for the first time. I assume both of these players are playing basically these are week 1 characters. Week 1 Mox gets to, test out Faust, and week 1 Pablo gets to, try to tame the gameplay loop of Testament. If we consider like which character gets more value more simply, I think it's even though Testament is so simple to play, I think it might actually be Faust, right? Because for Faust, you don't necessarily have like the biggest threshold of or the biggest hardship comes from like aligning yourself with your items for the most part, I think, and reacting to the items that come out and having the set play to follow it up. Whereas Testament, you kind of have to have certain amount of fundamentals and game sense for how fireballs work in fighting games. Like, I would dare to say you need to have, you know, a little bit of understanding of how Street Fighter is played. Again, misses the meaty timing. The opponent gambles with the throw. Those could, of course, like, even if you if you have a fear that you might miss your meaty, you could just convert into a shimmy instead and call them out. Backdash, neutral jump, walk back a little. That's gonna be a counter hit. Nice XP. Now Mox has so much resource. Unfortunately, the cancel that was played was mix. Nice. Goes so high that the Arbiter sign couldn't even reach Mox in that situation. Yeah, Arbiter sign is a very, very competitive tool. I dare say that you probably want to use Grave Reaper a little bit more than Arbiter sign. Arbiter sign is usually kind of like checking them on block strings or if they are absolutely at the other side of the screen. But if there's even a small, slight chance that they might be running at you, then Arbiter sign is very, very dangerous. That said, Pablo is playing some really good Arbiter signs this round. 6P, however, the insurance was already in the way, or on the way. YRC to prevent having to interact with that 6P, and again, really great instant air dash over the fireball. Misses the meaty. Unfortunate. It was a slightly fuzzy, a slightly ambiguous situation as well, because that was like a random aerial hit that Mox would have had to convert into the close slash meaty. Nice punish on the Arbiter side with the Arbiter sign. Waiting for a response that never comes. Here we go from the 6 heavy. Decently big damage as far as these characters are considered. And as far as, you know, beginner players of the characters as well. It's not the easiest thing. Ooh, look at that, the spacing! Was able to get barely out of the Arbiter sign. Calamity 1 will be missed and punished as well. However, first big mistake there of the set for Mox. Got the very, very high aerial hit as a punish to Arbiter sign, but then was not able to combo onto like a ground block string. But no doubt some of that problem stemming from the fact that you have very different kind of air dash to, like, compared to any other characters in the game. Low Arbiter sign once again finds its prey. Perfectly timed. Ooh, again this time. Is it, wait, I forgot. Is it just the S Grave Reaper that lost its hurt box increase, or is it also the heavy version? There we go, speaking of the heavy version. Whoa! Spends the 50 meter on a teleport RPS. Is that a safe jump? No, not quite. Returning the favor, this might actually break the wall, and if it does, that should be game, or round rather. No, never mind. Starting to be a very, very tough situation for Pablo. We need to turn on the heat sooner rather than later. Those fishing balls have been not working out for Mox very well. It's another tool that requires a very specific timing that you gotta practice, I believe, in order to be really accurate with it. There we go, this time trade with the Arbiter sign. That's kind of like the result that I was waiting for the most part. Again, spent 50 on the teleport. I think that's less than 50 because you do an FRC, right? Or do you? Anyway, Mox advancing forward 5-1, looking kinda grim. Unless Pablo manages to pull something really, really strange, really powerful out of their back pocket. 6B starts to set immediate burst by Mox. There we go, once again. Go-to tool, instant air dash. It kills fireballs. So here's the thing. If you know your opponent is gonna be air dashing at you, if they think you will be throwing fireballs, you gotta stop doing things. You gotta do nothing. And I know it's excruciating and difficult on a character that dominates the neutral so much. But that is the fate of Street Fighter characters. Sometimes you gotta wait. Sometimes you gotta look for that jump and get the anti-air. There we go. This time it's Pablo who instant air dashes forward, but I think he used the wrong button there. The S jump slash is not the best jumping move from Testament. I think you tend to see the jump heavy a little bit more. Then go. Oh, that's gonna hit. Yep. Way too floaty there with that instant air dash or that air dash approach from Mox. Ooh, big counter hit. Fishing pole connects. Do we have the timing? No! That exact timing has been eluding Mox so far, but at least you don't lose that much value with it. You kind of lose your damage and your... Ooh, nice! Instant air dash over. Once again, really great read from Mox. Teleport through. Nice. Get the punish. And then the classic, the 6 heavy, the haymaker. There it is! That's the timing for Mox. It took a little while, but got it when it mattered the most. Alright, bomb is out. Let's see how players then... Ooh, interesting. I thought Mox was actually out of the range, but it was Mox who ends up self-detonating there. To the other side, once again, the teleport has been such a strong tool for Mox in this set. Understandable. It is kind of like a... It is a counter tool to projectiles, in a way. Here we go. I think the explosion will trigger actually right after the throw. So it gives a little bit of extra frame advantage, I believe. Nice. That kind of looked like Mox was pressing a button there initially, but I think it could have been the startup frames of something like close slash. And because Mox realized during the slowdown frames, or rather the stop frames, that that's a Calamity 1 coming, might have been able to FD cancel in time, which is definitely a thing that can happen in Guilty Gear Strive. You can cancel the first startup frames of your normals into FD. Yeah, that's a punish. However, that's a really small one. I think Testament. What does Testament even get from 2P? It's like 2P, 2P, 6P, something like that. There's a 2P again, but no follow through. I think that's a really big weakness in Guilty Gear Strive. If you like, to begin with, it's such a big risk to try to 2P somebody during your pressure. If you do, you gotta have the rewards out of that. You gotta, you know, follow through with a hard knockdown or some sort of pushback. Otherwise, the opponent is just gonna on-hit B+ and then press their own buttons instead. Like that. Yeah, Mox doesn't give a shit. You press 2P, you're minus if you don't follow it up. Ooh, at the very tip, still gets it. Misses the fishing pole follow-up. This could be the end. Mox is at set point position. Up fireball is plus. Here come the hippos as well. How does Mox find their way in? They could try to waltz back and forth until they have 50 meter to go for that teleport RC. Or they could just run forward. That is one of the most classic ways of dealing with Testament. Just dash forward into a fireball. If it wasn't an up fireball, then Testament is minus. And even though Testament has really good buttons at those ranges, then from an S fireball, you basically get to RPS. If they would throw a crow, many players or many characters can actually go under that, or try to get a button out before the crow goes active. So yeah, I'm surprised that we got to see that side of the matchup at the very end. But yeah, that's definitely one potential way to play that matchup as well. But yeah, also remember, these are very, very new day one characters for many of these players this week. So no harsh critique or anything. You can only get so far in such a small amount of time. and everybody develops at their own pace. Some players need a little bit more, and sometimes these characters just aren't they just don't kind of synchronize with you as a player, right? So everybody develops at their own pace is kind of a TLDR of the situation. We've got 2 more matches tonight. First one of them is going to be Metadona Johnny versus the 11th Bridget. One of the few Bridget players that we actually have, or rather one of the few Bridget players that is actually playing Bridget tonight. The only one, in fact. Now, the matchup here, we've had this a couple of times, and the Bridget players have been really struggling with this one. And it's no wonder. These 2 characters play kind of like similar ranges, but the problem is that Johnny has really good counter tools. Like if you try to zone Johnny, Mistfinder. Big problem. If you try to go airborne against Johnny at mid-range, 6k. Or Mistfinder. If you try to play slow against Johnny, Deal. Deal is down, Mistfinder is supercharged, and it's probably usually gonna put you in a situation where you have to block a nasty mix-up. And let me tell you this much, you don't wanna be blocking Johnny's pressure. That guard crush pressure is so nasty. So 11 starting here with was that a kickstart? Already pressuring the opponent into a safe jump. Do it again. The kind of a setup that I think I've never seen before. Set up the yo-yo and then go with an empty jump instead. Probably with an empty jump low or a late air dash, I reckon. Right, momentum shifts. Metadona's time to play. That's a hard knockdown as well. Ooh, yes, knows that is not gonna be a 9-frame safe against DPs. Wait, is Bridget 9-framer? 9-frame DP? Is she? Man, look, wait a second. This is actually important information. Let me check. Bridget, show me your DP. It is a 9-framer, so that means that Johnny does actually not have a safe jump against her. And I think that's like one of the. You really need some bit of esoteric knowledge like that in many matchups. Your opponent has a hard knockdown, wall break against you, they instant air dash at you, and then you're like, is that real or is that not real? Can I DP that? Can I 6P that? It's really important to know that kind of data in a matchup. Here we go, double dash forward. Metadona has so much meter. However, the FD from 11 able to push quite a far ways away. Going for the full combo. Checking if the opponent wants to burst. The burst does not come out. It's in fact a reversal super. That's gonna be the choice here. Jade. And we still have 50. Empty air dash into a throw. God, Johnny just has so many good things to mix it up with. And another cool feature is that if Johnny gets a throw, that means he also gets a deal, and that also means you're probably gonna be locked in a guard crush. A very nasty situation to be in.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
To the other side. Oh, that's a very common thing that can happen. Even if the opponent is in the air or looks like they're gonna be landing, what do you do as Johnny? Press S. Kind of like no matter what button you get out of that, it's usually gonna be the close slash, and close slash for Guilty Gear Strive Johnny, so hard to escape. One of the anti-airs in the game for sure. Checking if Riz is trying to do something on the wake up. Here comes from the counter hit, Mistfinder into a deal, into a follow-up situation. Nice, will be able to queue up the super as well. I think Ensenga doesn't kill here, even though Ensenga does so much damage still. So I think it was really instrumental to get the super off here if you want to just end the round here immediately. Mistfinder, once again, the tool to keep an eye out for in this matchup. Especially when the match revolves back to neutral. Kinda look at what Metadona does. What does he move, and how does he use Mistfinder? Very nice, instant air dash over the fireball. That was the, well, the fireball function. That was the far slash or 5 heavy that 11th plate there. Through the wall now. And again in this situation, this is not a safe jump. Oh, I see, I see. So, wait, if they go for a jumpy whiff, that's still not a, that's still DP punishable, right? I know, like, if the opponent knows that they can 9-frame DP you out of your usual quotations safe jump setup, what you can do is not press a button instead and do something like FD break, for instance, in which case you will obviously block it and their DP will be blocked. So it's not like a guaranteed situation if you see them air dash at you that you can say, all right, I'll DP and I win every time. It's still, there is still an element of RPS there. Johnny facial hair? No, not a mod. The game has inbuilt function for Baird. It's kind of the same as Asuka's thingy where you can choose if you're, like, which name for Asuka you want before the game. You can also turn the Baird on and off in the base game of the, or the base version of the game. All right, once again, nice side whip there. Tried to flip it back with a travel RC. But 11th defending the position. Here we go, mix-up time. Jump D is the usual suspect that catches them. Which also allows you to play your sequences airtight and be reversal safe. Uh-oh, from the back dash. Counter hit. And then the big damage of Johnny's will be able to erase 11 from this round. Ooh, still gonna punish, but that was from a very peculiar angle, and I think it was a button that does not cause a lot of hit stun either there. Jump K. Back into the corner you go, Mr. Spondy. Trade on the 2 heavy, definitely in 11th's favor. Nice reaction as well. Sees the wall slump, goes for the loop, and now this character does have a safe jump on Johnny, I believe. Does not exactly work the other way around, but then it's really funny to think that the zoner is the one that has the safe jump setup. But I guess it makes sense because, like, Bridget is all about that set play a lot of the time. Neutral and set play, and the set play is super important thing about her identity. Nice there. Was probably waiting for a burst, but metadona just at that life disadvantage, or rather life advantage, we don't have to press shit yet. In fact, we're gonna gamble at this massive life lead. We're gonna gamble with the reversal super instead. That has been happening a couple of times already, where metadona holds it and goes for the aggressive option, and it has been paying off again. As a result of not bursting there and instead opting to gamble with the super, we have Red Wild Assault stocks ×2. And you bet your ass that pressure string wouldn't have ended there for metadona for a very long time. Ooh, was trying to break from kickstart at an opportune distance to get the plus frames, but I think just barely missed there, 11th. Nevertheless, catching the landing frames here into a punish, into a setup. And more we go. Oh, never mind, we want the... No, we actually don't want the wall break. I mean, eventually the wall break is gonna come through. I think there was a little bit of like difficulties for 11th to decide how to play it exactly. We are still in a very good position here, and metadona can't really afford to burst here, right? Metadona has been really good at sort of mentally visualizing where they want to burst. 6B does beat the far slash, which is super good for Johnny. 9-framer, very far reaching, so one of the best 6Bs, far slashes in the game. First spacing mistake here, or maybe that was a timing mistake. Nevertheless, pushing forward afterwards. We got the super. Opting for, I think already queued up the Ensenga there, which is okay. That's pretty decent amount of damage as well. Nice instant air dash. That's how you call out horizontal mist fighter. But here's how you call out yo-yo throw straight from the burst. Actually, both of these characters have a very similar type of tool. The Roger Super for Bridget, as well as the Joker trick for Mr. Johnny. Ooh, the card was there, so it's gonna explode into a big combo. Finish with Ensenga. Jesus Christ! Look at how much that Ensenga does at the end of the combo. That is 60% of your life. And now, looking for one more hit from this heart knockdown situation. So that was not a... I think that was not a... That was not a reversal. Because that starship should kill that setup, right? And I think I did not see the reversal text here, which means 11th technically went for the right option, but not with the right execution.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
The other side tried to use 2K there on the landing, but I think Johnny was just too much frame advantage, or perhaps was just too far. Into a close last, that should be decent damage. Ooh, interesting setup there. Into an F-Shiki. Didn't manage to get the hit, was actually able to get the hit on the cross up there on the way down, which is probably not the hit that you're planning to score. And now, 50 tension ready. Ooh, again, instant air dash punishes the Mistfinder. F-Shiki again. I guess, yeah, there's another layer to that block string, because even if the opponent blocks the F-Shiki initially, you're still coming down from behind them, so they gotta switch their guard accordingly. YRC is baited. 11th waiting for the burst, but the burst never comes. Once again, Metadona extracting a little bit of extra value. It does not end up mattering here too much because Metadona was already kind of dead. But, you know, small RPS wins consistently. Alright, the jump slash from Bridget here. Very nice air-to-air starter. Especially when he counter hits. Speaking of counter hits, the too heavy here. 11th knows the power of that move. The scooter gets there in time. Metadona was taking the Mistfinder stance, but was not able to let it rock in time. That's the J-Rock though. Oh no, close slash! Closest would have been pretty good. However, in the follow-up situation, 11 still able to salvage it, but for how long? We're relatively even here. That's the 6K, the big pouncing button. YRC is just close enough to able to get the +10, and then the meaty 2S from Bridget is met with a J once again. Not quite done deal yet. I love that. Has been playing I think the same setup where he goes for like instant air dash into empty throw, but the option is so slow that I think you can just option select if the opponent wants to just rock a reversal DP, right? A little bit of extra run, trying to push the opponent to the corner as much as possible. Where the 2S does counter it, immediate burst from Metadona. However, was able to deal the card there and then make the opponent land into it. Okay, one turn up is dodged there. Turn up being the follow-up effect when you slice the deal. The card that you put on the screen with Mistfinder. Massive hitbox that causes a guard crush. One of the go-to tools of Johnny's game plan. But the game plan is not gonna be progressed here. It's in fact 11th who puts themselves on the board. Definitely not too late here. 4-1. We are still on the chase. It's still doable for sure, but we need to put some extra effort into it from this point on.
Knew that they cannot change society. So instead of Duel 1. Let's rock.
Now, let's see if 11th will be able to reproduce those results. First setup, command grab of the set. Catches Metadona off guard. Of course, it catches a lot of people off guard. It's one of those things that you're usually not expecting. F-Shiki again. Initially, the overhead is blocked, but the follow-up situation a little tough to deal with. Drop them in the corner. 11 so much meter. We could even try to reverse the positions here. No, we're just pushing forward. Ooh, tried to press something there. Very naughty. Close slash rings as a... There we go. Look at that. First time in a while where I see somebody actually protect themselves against the rock the baby command grab. Drop them in the corner for a close slash. There we go. Enough delay between close slash and the next button. Getting a big fat counter hit.
Wins. Duel 2.
Yeah, it definitely looks like 11th is slowly finding the sequences. Look at this. Or perhaps it's metadona. A little hasty here. Trying to press a lot of buttons out of those sequences. Good 6P once again. I mean, it's understandable that Johnny players, you know, they do have very overbearing tools overall, which can allow you to just exert your dominance and play the game when the opponent tries to play theirs. Yeah, it's gonna punish. Even if the backdash won't be able to come out of the Mistfinder stance early enough. DP here. Yeah, has to burst if they still want to play. Again, was able to actually block in time. Interesting. I guess the yo-yo throw there would be nice. RPS. And this time, I think Grizz was able to dash deep enough to get that close slash initially. Because that's kind of a problem when you block the J from Johnny, is that it pushes you so far away. You do have a lot of frame advantage, but you have to commit to a very, like a deep dash in order to get that close slash activation. Depending on how fast, like how close to the opponent your close slash activates, there's definitely differences between characters. Like Johnny, for example, is the prime suspect of how the fuck does your close slash activate here? You are clearly at a far slash distance, which is of course usually a boon because his close slash is so good. Right, wall break? No, not quite, but we're still getting the deal. And yep. You're guessing high, low strike throw in that situation, basically. This time, yeah. 11 has been following or starting the rounds with a 6P so often that metadona finally calling it out. Jump out, no punish though. A little bit of bluff there. Cancels the block string into deal, which is usually not safe if your opponent is ready to mash buttons. There we go. Spent the meter in deal. Vault deal RC, very common way for Johnny players to try to skip the neutral if they have the 50 available. Rock the baby. Definitely rocks Metadona's world this time. Gets caught, clipped by the rolling movement. However, the angle is really awkward for 11 to confirm it. Here with the BMB. Wakes up with the 5 heavy. Are you kidding me? Guts. But now, sealing the combo safely with a Joker trick. Pulling 11 potentially in a very tough situation. Was able to jump out of the throw. OTG attempt does not kill. 11 has to be very careful. Mistfinder on block is kill. Or sorry, actually, it wouldn't have been kill. It was actually Metadona who was at a 0 life. So it was Metadona's job to basically make sure that no button is ever gonna land on him. Deal into guard crush. Yeah, big frame trap here immediately sticks the opponent to the wall. And then the meter conversion. God, that's so much damage for such a... That's 3 hits and it hurts so hard. I mean, I would know how this game works. I do play Sin myself. So this should never surprise anybody. For how hard can, you know, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C into a super, how much damage that kind of situations or rather sequences can actually deal. Right, Metadona with a very massive lead here, 5-2 again, ready to call out the round start buttons from 11th. Mistfinder doesn't find its mark. Back to neutraling. There's the close slash. The close slash is so nasty. I hate it and I love it at the same time. Such a massive button. Big conversion. We got the super as well. Now back into this RPS where you kind of don't have a safe jump and the opponent has a 9-framer. We're going for it. There we go. There's the sick DP. Was that a reversal though? I didn't see the reversal text. Break the wall. Yep. There was just too much damage already on 11th. So even though we got that DP interruption, it's this much life for Johnny. Johnny is like, even though Johnny does play from far away, like for basically a zoning kind of gameplay, he is one of the toughest, one of the highest EHP characters in the game still. And if you know what kind of a character... Ooh, nice! FRC makes up into the low. However, doesn't get the biggest cash out. Was able to procure, or rather save the situation there on the follow-up, which is super important. As Bridget, you have to keep this matchup flowing. You have to be able to, you know, minimize the situations where Johnny gets to play. That was a nice delay there. Making sure that metadona is not getting that burst out. That was like the longest delay I've ever seen between that close slash counter hit and the follow-up button. So basically giving the opponent a little bit of extra time to burst there if they want to throw. But of course, metadona is a smart player and does not throw in the end. That 6K, look at that. Just chases the opponent out of the air. Like it's I think it's like sometimes you want to go airborne as Bridget and throw that yo-yo. If you think that the ground game is not, you know, favoring you enough. But Johnny has an approach tool for that one as well. There we go. The FRC low mix up again. Very low amount of damage out of that one though. I think is the biggest problem. Could have maybe finished with a super. Too heavy will ground metadona. But the last one, okay, last one ends up missing of that combo, was completely locked in still. Sees the air dash coming in and lets the too heavy rock. 5-3, 11th, definitely on the chase here. God, 11th is so committed to that 6B, basically saying you're never, ever, ever gonna press far slash at round start. And I mean, that's kind of what's been happening here. Metadona has not pressed that button many times after like the couple of first rounds. And I mean, if you get punished by Mistfinder there, if the play is, let's see what they do again. Yeah, this time they go for a far slash. Interesting. But that's the RPS. You've been called out so many times that you gotta let that 6B rest for a moment, right? And that's when you strike. That's when you use your far slash as Johnny. Alright, finding a frame trap into maybe accidental side switch. Let's see what Riz can do with this. Instead, spending 50 and trying to make it back into the safe corner. We are there. Metadona, full resources though. Big anti-air. Misses the conversion, was probably again worried about the burst, I reckon. But metadona again has extracted so much, such a ridiculous amount of value for just not bursting. I'm gonna be so upset if metadona actually wins this round again because they did not burst specifically. I think metadona would burst here though, because they're 100 meter and this looks just so good. Oh no, never mind, they used the wild assault earlier, so there is no burst. However, we can still go into the J. And I mean, 11's RPS on the reversal super game has been pretty good. I think it's kind of like 50-50, maybe a little less, a little more than 50% of frequency of calling the reversals out. But the risk reward is a devious kind of thing to calculate. And ooh, nice attempt to whiff punish there, but both players actually whiffing in the end. Yeah, the risk reward is a devious thing for Bridget, for she does not deal a whole lot of damage unless she gets like one of her couple really good hits. And even then, it's like nothing to write home about. Ooh, rare footage. Was that close slash from Johnny going into the wrong direction? Crazy world we live in. There we go. We were talking about that. The frequency with which 11 has been calling that out. Nice. Gets was that a kata cancel there? Still able to get the hard knockdown, and now safe jump into. We have meter. We can make this work. We can force the opponent to block. The neutral jump K though, is that gonna be what breaks the camel's back? forcing the opponent to block. Got caught on the landing? Wait, was that like a true punish? I think Metadona was landing from the super, and I'm not sure if he was completely landed there, but the 2S somehow ended up catching him. Very peculiar kind of situation. Good wave punish. 2S missed from Bridget. One of the, like, even though it's a great button, it does lack range compared to Bridget's other buttons. Double jump. Yeah, won't be able to dodge the big close S. Alright, great timing there. Was able to use YRC at the... Oh, and the RPS. I love... If there is one thing that is completely carrying 11's game here, I think it's the great sense on the bait situations. Kinda has a really good idea for when the opponent wants to unload the big guns. Oh my goodness. Unloads the close slash on Wake Up this time. 11 made some sort of mistake there. Plus frames from Bro. Oh, nice! Caught the backdash! Instant air dash jumps us. Some sort of a mistake here. Now getting locked on to pressure sequence and gets thrown. That's really weird. It's like there's been a lot of weird accidental cross-ups, especially for 11th during this set. But I think that's kind of intrinsic for Bridget because of how your movement tools tend to work. Ooh, we're gonna drift straight into that far slash, so no pressing any buttons there. I think 6B probably can't make it either, because the far slash is so fast. Alright, set up the yo-yo. We have options. Rolling movement, locking Johnny down this time. Here we go, into that rare option, rock the baby. And again, Johnny comes in with the air dashes. We intercept. Too far for a wild assault. But Metadona also whiffs the misfire. There we go, counter. No, goes to the rather wrong direction. There we go, air to air, rolling movement. Shh, is that gonna be the kill? Metadona at the very last moment fires the burst, has the meter. This could be a comeback. Johnny has so much damage potential. That was TK misfire, but misses it. And now, nice RPS for there was a lot of things that could have happened here. So Metadona had the meter to potentially cancel from a very heavy button into another, whatchamacallit, the not YRC. Travel deal YRC. That's the one in this game. So could have potentially forced the guess still. You know, when the adrenaline is pumping and you make a mistake that you haven't accounted for, it can be hard to follow up with the best possible option. Alright, able to make 11th land into that turn up. However, empty travel or vault. There we go. 11th was clearly waiting for that. Because, like, who could resist that sweet temptation of when it kind of looks like your opponent dropped their sequence there and they're like a little far away from you and you have like an opportunity to air dash out and potentially flip the position. It's really hard to resist. It's the oldest escape in the book of, you know, Guilty Gear escape since the beginning of time. Super jump air dash. Or just normal jump air dash out of the corner. Alright, the J is gonna deal enough damage here for Metadona, putting Metadona in a set point position. Driz will have to play very careful here. It is last round, and we have full burst available for, well, it's gone now. Only burst resources available is one stock of Wild Assault for Metadona. But let's see if they get to utilize it. A huge amount of instant air dashes. Understandable, many of Bridget's go-to tools or attempts to control the neutral are punishable by that instant air dash. Big miss there on the 6 heavy. Won't get punished too bad this time at least. Immediate super. So problem with this super is that the YRC is plus 10. and it's a guard crush, so you could potentially try to churn this out and get called out by any normal, but this time metadona knew that there was not gonna be a normal, so that J, he's just gonna take the game straight up. And 7-4, we were talking about how frustrating this matchup can be for Bridget to play. Nevertheless, 11th performing phenomenally, doing everything that they can to swing it in their own favor. So not too bad for sure. Alright, we've reached the last pinnacle of the evening. Ruby, Elfelt, Diego, Nagoriyuki. These are, for a change, these are players who are actually playing their main characters. So we've had Ruby one showing on Bounty Hunter so far. Had to go against a slightly tougher opponent in the form of, I think it was Ina. It was Ina that Ruby had to face, and Ruby was definitely the underdog in that one. Hopefully this time we're gonna have a slightly more even ground here between Ruby and Diego. And as the last remnants of QK's voice are drawing close to an end, I'm actually surprised we got through the event rather unscathed, although I'm a little scared of after I stop talking, what kind of damage have I caused? Have I inflicted onto myself? We're still, of course, got the adrenaline flowing. The beat is pumping. We got one more matchup to play. This is another matchup that we've played quite a few times on Bounty Hunters, right? And we always keep saying how, you know, Elfeld is kinda vulnerable against DP characters. But again, this is not a DP character. This is a character who kinda has to play the Rekka RPS of Elfelds fair and square. So let's see, while we're waiting for Diego to manifest in the lobby. Oh, actually, now that I say, I did say that both players are playing their mains, but we've seen Diego on two different characters on Bounty Hunters so far. They had one match with Johnny, and then followed up with one match of Nagoriyuki. So I'm not 100% sure which one is the stronger character for Diego. Nevertheless, got players ready to mount the cabinets. The last final march of the Valkyries of this week is gonna commence soon. With another slightly rare characters in the form of Elfeld that is so much fun to watch, especially after all of those Season 4 changes that she got. The Bomb Belt, of course, very strong. Rocinante! Who's a Project Moon fan here?
Mankind knew that they cannot
Ruby.
change society. So instead of reflecting,
Let's see how it's gonna go.
they named the beasts, heaven or hell.
Of course, as it is with all Nagoriyuki matchups, the start of the set, or rather start of the round, is the most crucial one. The moment when Nagoriyuki has complete full 3 stocks of blood bar left means that there's a huge chance that neutral skips, strong neutral skips such as Beyblade or Clone Fukio, are gonna come out, and we rock into it immediately. The best thing that you can do is you try to make Nagoriyuki whiff. So exactly what Ruby did there. Backdashing, disengaging from the situation, and trying to make it completely whiff is kind of like the RPS win that I consider it to be. Nice instant air dash again. We've had a lot of great instant air dash reach here tonight. And now from the full blood or high blood situation, that's a big hit. I think that's a kill, right? Bomb belt is gonna kill. Yeah. Even though bomb belt does a little less damage, I believe, than the reversal super, it's still, I think it still kind of triggers to some extent and causes a lot of its damage. Nice ricochet shot, bringing in a lot of plus frames here into Rekka. You have to respect this. And the follow-up, the shotgun, the safe follow-up, the say last. Ooh, all right, we're trying a reaction check here. 30 frames, firing the opponent to the skies. I think as Elfeld, it serves a lot of purpose. Nice 6p. It serves a lot of purpose to do like neutral jumping, back jumping, and that kind of stuff. Because not only does that allow you to potentially dodge Beyblade or clone Fukio, but it also kind of prepares an angle for a missed shot, missed ricochet shot. And you usually, the biggest value from your shots is you want to make them miss and you want to make them ricochet back on the opponent and fall in front of them with massive frame advantage. But now Diago turning on the heat, going in raw. 6 heavy still in the range. Drifting, going under, yeah. Too heavy. When you see that, you're like, yeah, there's no way that you're gonna land. Rekka 1 into a throw reset. We rarely see those, but Rekka 1 is on block -2. And it's impossible in the heat of the moment to see if Alpha actually goes into a follow-up or not. Starting with a DP. Lots of blood being spent here. Is that pop? No, I think... No, it's still gonna be a pop. YRC. No! Ruby! Oh no! The YRC makes sure that Ruby actually gets punished. Otherwise, that would have been a kill. That would have been a death for Diago.
Mankind knew that they cannot change.
You really hate to see it. That's why you kind of like, you have to do mental math. I know it's like not something that you guys like to do, but when you play against Nagoriyuki, you gotta count. Is it a heavy special move or is it a Fukio? Heavy special move is 0.6 and Fukio is like 0.3 or something? Or 4? Or less? And you gotta do that mental math based on how much, you know, blood they have left. And sometimes you can say for certain that is a pop. And now when you return back to neutral, it's gonna be over for you. Sometimes you might even want to break their sequences with a YRC or a burst if they're performing like something nasty on you, such as like samurai mix-up. Not really as strong as it was in previous version, but you know, it can happen if you're low health. From the DP, plus frame sliding into it. Nice interruption there. And then the ricochet shot for a lot of plus frames. Even when it lands as a hit, you can pick it up with a close slash even if you want. Into Rekka. Yep, frame jump and the bait on the burst as well. Damn, Ruby. Really great game sense here on the game number 2. I mean, had really great game sense in the first one as well, but this time all of the reads are going in their favor, sort of. But here could be a potential comeback from Diago. This is Nagoriyuki after all. There's a lot of blood coming back from this super. And even more coming back from this blood-sucking universe. Wakes up with a... This is gonna catch the air dash. Yeah. Could also be... It's so close to a wall break. If it wall break, it kills. Nope, it's not gonna this time. Again, 5 heavy. Are you freaking kidding me? Ruby, second time in a row where they wake up with a 5 heavy, and it was kind of the right call, because I think Diago was trying to bait there with a back Fukio, which got caught in both of those situations. From the Rekka, OTG's close slash into more pressure. You gotta go airborne against Pineberry, the grenade, if the opponent keeps resetting their pressure with it. Looking for an angle. Very nice angle for Diago though. Too heavy. Oh, as soon as they block something, grenade reset. 6 heavy -2. No, never mind. We're FRCing into more pressure. No whiff punish, went for a slightly too slow one. on the cross up the jump D finds its mark, so Ruby puts themselves into 1-1 position. Yeah, there's a lot of Pineberry here.
Mankind knew that they
And
duel one.
you know, wise men say that if the opponent can't deal with the grenade, you should abuse it. You should abuse it a lot. Because whenever they block it in your block string, that's a free mix-up for you. And not only mix-up, it's so much extra risk that you can deal. Alright, nice with punish on the 2 heavy. Here comes Diago, back Fukyo into. We'll have to take this shot from behind. Rekka, 1 high, low, into Ender. Ooh, big value. Now Ruby is in danger. That should be a kill, right? Yeah, with that full refreshed blood bar from the blood-sucking universe. No way out of that one. Rounds can go by really fast when you're playing against Nagoryuki. There we go with a big blood burn. The clone Fukyo gets a frame trap. Comes down with a button. Ooh, no, but the angle wasn't quite good enough. It's usually the air-to-airs or the air throws that you want to perform against that the grenade resets. One comes again. Wait. Throwing? Was that the throw on initial Rekka? 6B, skip to the other side. That's, I think, missing that 2 heavy was actually frame disadvantage for Ruby. Everything goes by so fast, it's a little hard to determine what's going on. But the fact of the matter is that Diago is standing at the end there, taking advantage of those free plus frames that have been granted to you. A very important ability to make use of. Alright, clone Fukyo once again. Frame trap, keep the pressure going. Slightly expensive. Ooh, nice. Goes for the... Is that a jump heavy from Elfeld? That does give you a cross-up hitbox as well, in case you go to the other side. And 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that's actually a wall break. Missing the super input there, I believe. And the far slash is going to be sliced through. This is not only a lot of blood back, but also a hard knockdown stage shift. So now Fukyo in with the basic close slash pressure. That I guess that clone Fukyo does nullify the amount of blood coming in from the super. FRC should be a kill. Yep. Even if you pop, it does not matter because the opponent is so low on life. Wait, was that a 5k that caught round start grenade? Is Grandma seeing right? Is the bump? Does the Vampire 5k actually prevent that from happening? Ooh, again with the FRC. I think Diago is using the 6 heavy FRC more than I've seen any player use before. And just like that, the momentum is immaculate. Diago is playing super fast. This is a kind of playstyle, or rather, like, it doesn't really matter what character you play. Like, almost every single fighting game character can be played like that, where you're just playing so fast that you're not letting the opponent to kind of gather their bearings. You're forcing them in a situation where they have to act, they have to preemptively play against your hyper-aggressive options. And here's a little bit of... Ooh, I had the 100 meter to bail themselves out of there. 5D again, charged kind. Yep, I think has to burst there if Ruby still wants to play this round. Because that would have done so much damage. Lots of blood here. That will pop. But it's a successful one. Into 6 heavy FRC once again. Drifts into more tap 5Ds. Nuts. Alright, blocking the DP airborne will cause a lot of plus frames for Nago, especially if you combine that with the forward Fukyo. However, Ruby, red-footed on finally being able to play. Rekka S reaches barely. I think Diago was trying to press some button here. And here we go. This situation is nasty. Bomb belt on you. What can you do? The best thing you could do is lock yourself in an animation of some kind. Or then you just block everything. But eventually, you're gonna have to guess one time too many. And Ruby use the explosion of the bomb belt frame advantage to go into another you know, free Rekka sequence where, you know, it's high-low, high-low. Or even reset into strike throw. Tried to bite there. But the throw from Ruby coming out fast enough. Here we go, overhead Rekka. We're cashing out. This could be nasty. Diago has a lot of resources here and 1 blood of bar active. Oh, well, there's 3 bars of blood. Now we can burn it. YRC doesn't... They should be able to block here. And punish? No, no punish. Actually, it's a little awkward when you block DPs or reversal supers airborne, because then they give that extra amount of, you know, block frames to you, which allows the super to, or the reversal to not be as minus as it would usually be. And Diago just plowing forward for 1. Small things, small RPS choices leading into big butterfly effects here. As soon as Diago sees that Ruby has built a little bit of distance between the characters, comes on with a button, immediate aggressive burst. There we go. Now this should be, I was about to say this should be super good for Ruby, for the defensive resources are completely spent for Diago. But no stop, here we go, even the cancel to super to guarantee that there's maximum amount of damage before the pop goes online. Because that was about to pop for Diago, I'm pretty sure. Even despite the super. But none of it ends up making it. Nice comboing from the super, or sorry, the shot. There we go, Rekka 1 into throw. I like that so much. Make the opponent, you know, mash buttons after the first Rekka. And here we go, once again into L-Faults, one of the best L-Fault situations. There's a couple of different, there we go, there's a couple of different things that will automatically trigger the bomb belt. I believe one of them is Pineberry, and the other one is high-low from Rekkas. Does that trigger it immediately as well? Ooh, unfortunately, went for a double jump. Could have had a punish there on the way down, but still, nice. I think that's the first time that Diago actually responds correctly to the Pineberry. Oh, great burn of meter here. Burst is available, immediately goes for it. Wait, bar slash a little too early? Is this a kill? Mask on, DP. Does cause Ruby to be pulled back onto the ground, and that means frame advantage. God, again, such a close round here. We're living on the edge. Ruby almost has these rounds, almost has these games, but almost is not enough in the field of competitive gaming, unfortunately. $6P a little too early there. I think Diago was at the nice stop, halts at the perfect angle there, so that the blood explosion did not even get blocked. But now, nice jump out of the blood-sucking universe as well, and they very close to a kill, but not quite. To the other side, plus frames, goes for a throw, sick plays, and even sicker plays to break that throw from Diago. That's a kill, right? You just burn? No, not quite. So close to popping. Ooh, no, that's not a kill. Never mind, that is a kill. It was very close to almost an unblockable. Although Diago did have quite a lot of FD in the meter as well, so could have prevented all of the chip damage as well. Not landing into enough plus frames here. Diago goes for the throw, gets value with it. No anti-air on the super jump. And now it's time to burn. Ooh, never mind. -2. What we're gonna do? Get out of the corner instead. Wow, the tap on the 5B actually catches Diago from the wrong direction. Plus frames, this time no throws. Cross up with the Pineberry. And again we go. 1, 2, Rekka overhead finds its mark, and since we're mid-screen, nice plays from Ruby. Close slash into throw, jump cancel, and that should be kill, right? Yes! Very deserved sequence of plays here, or rather, very predictive sequence of plays here, which definitely definitely deserved round win, or rather game win there.
Duel 1.
But it is not over. You need to have that consistently going forward. Again, connects the air button a little too high up, so gets thrown for her trouble or their troubles. Nice dash forward, jump. No button on the way down though. Low this time. Yeah, that was gonna be a pretty hard hit. That would have gone into bomb belt as well, so I think that's a pretty good use of burst from Diago to burst that kind of stuff. Now, instead, we get to this wall break, and this time Ruby does not have the 50 meter, so can't exactly... What was that clash? Holy! By B into... Okay, I think that close slash probably was not what Diago meant to do. I think they were churning super. The S button is Wazuriyuki input, right? Right? That was on purpose, was it? One hit confirmed, Street Fighter style? Third strike, y'all. Alright, I'll believe it. 1, 2, 3, drop in the corner. Again, goes for a 6P immediate. I think that was probably not what Ruby wanted to happen. Nevertheless, to the other side, secure better real estate. However, back turn incident, or rather back throw incident. Is that a pop? It was gonna be a pop. However, that last 5 heavy registering as a hit will bail Diago out. Look at that. That's so crap. It's tough because Ruby probably knew that he is in a he is in a decisive strike throw mix-up. If he takes blood-sucking universe, then Diago wins. But on the other hand, if you try to backdash out, jump out, you might get caught by the strike, and then the pop will not happen. Tricky situations. Choose the best button for the situation, crossing up there, leaving Diago initially in the corner. Nice fuzzy jump again. I think Ruby has been very active with those. I mean, a lot of blood-sucking universes are sinking in, but a lot of them are dodged as well. And now... yeah, even through that throw break, into the mix-up again. Yep, and overhead finds its mark. The only saving grace there, like the Alpha Rekka is hitting so hard or so consistently. The saving grace is that it, like alone, it does not deal like that much damage. Like look at this damage. It's around like 80 damage, 90 damage, something like that. Something small like that. But it does usually allow you to follow up with more pressure, especially if you land it in the corner, because the heavy follow-up now bounces them. God, that was really fast game. I was talking some smack and Ruby already took 2 back-to-back rounds just like that. But you kind of have to. It's the world is gonna flash by your eyes. The double jump into. Ooh, the jump he actually missed here. Burst is successful for Ruby, but the 6P not. God, that hit so hard. That was almost a kill there from the FRC. Didn't believe in the plus frames. I think it's that situation again where Ruby goes for an instant air dash forward, lands a button from very far away and determines that's not gonna combo. So tried to backdash out of there. But this time Diago, instead of mashing with a throw, went with a button and punished the backdash out. Really naughty. Speaking of punishing backdashes here, nice backdash shimmy here from Ruby. Prompting a burst coming up from Diago, and now so close, yet so far to that 50 meter. That could have been the bomb belt setup. And now free blood bar. Yeah, we gotta make that stop. And another one. Are we able to block? Yes, sir. But that's not quite enough. And throw break. Coming in from behind. Throw break again. There we go. There's the shimmy. The backdash shimmy. And this time, Diago takes the bait and tries to throw. One, two, three, blood burn. All right, I kind of like this burst. So bursting at the very precipice of the blood pop. Not only is Diago completely unable to use special moves here for a moment, but also your combos are gonna do so much damage. Yep, there's a close slash punish. Doubled up with a Pine Berry. I think that didn't combo, or did it? And then 1-2, super also available. Ruby is surprisingly running this back. It is, of course, the Finnish Sisu that we know that goes active when you are in these troubling situations, when you don't give up. When the gods will guide you.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Alright, big blood burn starting the round. Instant air dash again! Lands the hit so high. That's the trade-off if you hit your button very high up in the air. I wonder if Alpha can do something about it, or Gatling into something if that happens. Alright, 6B from way too far to be able to go under too heavy from Nagoriyuki. Oh, look at that 6 heavy anti-air, putting Diago on a set point position here. First opportunity in a while to end it. Bloodburn doesn't get a whole lot of value out of that, so that should be probably counted as a RPS win for Ruby. After all, your first priority against Nagoriyuki should be to try to draw out the blood so that he can't skip the neutral. Here we go, and instead of going into Rekka, deems that the opponent was a little too far away, so goes into Pridal Express RC instead, and as a follow-up, was able to actually build up enough meter here. This was great micromanagement of resources by Ruby. Ruby has been powering up as the set has progressed. I'm starting to believe. Plus frames again from the ricochet shot. Double up. Ooh, there we go. Air-to-air jump K, one of the buttons. Hard distance to deal with. Diago, actually, wait, would that be a plot pop? That is a plot pop. Even though that was a small special move, Diago was so deep into the plot bar that even the Fukyo was gonna cost the pop, and that will cost dearly. The momentum is completely on Ruby's side here. Even though the situation is 6-5, I would probably put, in these kind of situations where you've completely reversed the momentum, I would put the advantage on Ruby's side. Or maybe I'm coping here. Maybe I'm hoping for the comeback. For Diago is relentless looking here. Look at this. Dashing back and forth, sliding left and right. Returning back to the Diago play that we saw for the most of the start of the set. Jumping forward, finds the low, and now Blood-Sucking Universe. We didn't really need to do that, but I mean, might as well. It is a little bit of value. Jump out, gets a punish, however, too far away to go rattling into anything relevant. Overhead Rekka. Into another Rekka mix-up. Diago says that we've had enough and actually manages to switch the position. Ruby reaches the blue burst, but this is a tough situation. Hard knockdown. Ruby has almost all resources available, but one hit is gonna be it. Do you have reaction times to burst if you get hit here? No, you can't burst. You are in a command grab. Wow. I love that sequence from Diago so much. It covers all the perfect options. It covers almost all the best options, and then also combines as a what should we call it, like a burst crush, because you are going for that command grab. That means if it lands, there is no burst available. It's just GG over. Your burst is denied. Man, what a great comeback attempt from Ruby still, making it really competitive from a situation like, wow, what was the score? The score was like 1-5-1, yeah, 1-5 at one point, I think, something like that, something really nasty like that. But Ruby was able to claw there out of that sticky situation, but in the end, the pace of Diago's playing so fast, not letting the opponent breathe or adjust to the situation at all. Those kind of players are really nasty to play against for like certain type of players. If you're the kind of player who wants to you know, slowly, methodically consider your options, you're not gonna have that advantage against players like Diago. You just gotta play more preemptive. You gotta guess more. But another really great evening, I gotta say. And good on me for making it through with my subpar vocal cords. All right. You know how it is. We do this every Sunday, 5 p.m. CET. If you want to sign up for the next event, you can join my Discord and find the sign-up forms. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the matches. Let's see. It is slightly past 6, and I think gender neutral, or is it gender cross-up, is on for 1. Let's see our raid options. Let's see, where's my Guilty Gear Strive category? Yeah, I'll send you to the gender cross-up 58. I think they've whatchamacallit, they've sort of transitioned to a bi-weekly schedule. Meaning, if you like this one particular type of tournament, or this tournament in particular, then you have only one opportunity per 2 weeks to participate. So let's hop over there and say hello. They're just about to get started. And thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope everybody had fun. That's, I think, my number one priority. If everybody enjoyed their sets, then everything else is secondary. I bid you farewell. See you again next Sunday. It's been fun. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.